Hello and welcome back everyone to Notte, Eterna. We are here once again in the Eternal Night. I'm your host and your Dungeon Master, Kevin. Thank you all for coming back to watch us play part 2 of our newest arc, the Mage Discordance. I'm joined with the same 4 amazing players that you saw here last time. They are returning to play the same characters, and we will continue the second of our 3-part journey this evening. For those of you just joining us, thank you, welcome. And if you are back, welcome back. We are playing in Notte, Eterna. It's a new 5th edition campaign setting, a grim, dark, high fantasy setting set in a world of eternal darkness. These 4 heroes are one of the many who are surviving in this dark world, and tonight they're going to continue to try to find a secret artifact that perhaps can tip the balance of an upcoming strife. So let's go around and meet everybody real quick before we dive in. Let's start right here on my left, right, I can't tell, looking at the screen here. Bleak Season, welcome. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I'm so happy to be back and have another time with you. So
absolutely. I am the Bleak Season. You can find me on all the socials at the Bleak Season, and I am playing Kwyn Zenthar, the Karevi Knight Hospitalier, who is a firm believer that the world has been plunged into darkness because mortals are absolutely wicked and offended the gods in some way. And having now met someone you'll meet in a little bit, a lady of the light, he feels very much sort of put in that position of really noticing the how should I say, the weakness inherent in the darkness, which his race is known for. So he's sort of feeling a little tiny right now.
Well, okay. Well, that's all right. We are glad to have you here and have you returning. Bleak, it's always great to see the characters and the characterizations that you bring. So Kwyn is no exception, my friend. Great stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Jumping on to the other side of me, we're like Brady Bunch in the dark here. Jumping over to the other side is Darling Creepshow. Thank you so much for coming back. This is a true blast and honor to play with you again. So welcome.
Thanks for having me. This is super fun. I'm Darling Creepshow. I'm just your resident creep on Twitch. I play TTRPGs like D&D, and I also paint D&D miniatures. And tonight I am going to be playing Isa Vitdalter, and she's a little bit more of a reserved character, a little older, a little bit more learned, though not experienced, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, I'm excited to play again tonight. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for being here. Like I said, this is a blast. You're one of my favorite people to see out there, so I'm glad to have you share the moment with us tonight.
Thank you.
Alrighty, jumping down below to the 2 other remaining members of our party. Let's start right on, again, I can't tell from the screen. It looks like to me it's on my lower right side, but it might be the left for you guys. But Tim, hi, how are you?
Trying to figure out your directions.
Right. All I know is I'm Alice, so we're good.
You can find me on Twitter at Blackmore Flan. I am playing Pembroke the Harlequin, Pem for his friends. He is a Haragon rabbit. He's a rabbit, and he's fun. And
he is fun, yes.
And I get a chance to just torment Christian's character. It's great. It's just one of the benefits of this game.
Absolutely.
I'm here for you, man. I'm here for you.
Absolutely. Well, awesome, Tim. Thanks for being back. I'm happy to see that Pem is going to be having more escapades tonight. And finally, let's go on over to our final player, of course, not last in our hearts, Kay. Hi, Kay. Welcome back to the channel. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I took a nap before our game tonight to try and be nice and fresh. But we'll see when I start fading. But I'm happy to be here.
All right. Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here. Kay, you are a blast to play with too. So as you can all see, 4 great people coming together with me, who's just here to kind of help follow their lead. Yes, this is part 2 of the Mage Discordance. So if you want to, go back, find it, but do that after you watch tonight. So here we are. Let's dive in this evening to part 2 of the Mage Discordance, the Angel and the Demon. When last we found our intrepid adventurers, they were in fact on the island of Daragos, one of the 3 main core islands in the Mageocracy of Nu, which is a archipelago of islands that is to the north of the main landmass structure of Nier, the world in which our story takes place. As mentioned before, Nier is a world of eternal darkness. 161 years ago, the sun set for the last time when the high god, Laun, was stripped from his holy perch and was stricken down and imprisoned. Darkness rose across the land, and those who survive have to adapt, become better, and find new ways to exist. These heroes are no exception. As we dive back into the Mageocracy of Nu this evening, we will find that these heroes, more recently, have been chartered by Ulthane, one of the 3 archmages who is in charge of the Mageocracy of Nu, part of a triad of powers of archmages that look over the Mageocracy and make sure that the common doings are taken care of. They have been tasked by him to go into an opposing, for lack of a better word, Mageocracy island, the island of Nu itself, the capital island as it were, and find a vault beneath a tower located there, a tower of arcane sciences, in which they will find an artifact within, a astrolabe of sorts that was created in a time long ago, an astrolabe that might be able to mean the difference in an upcoming war that was prophesied when the sun set. So tonight, when we come back in, we are going to come back in specifically on the island of Nu. There is a small boat that gets chartered and appears at one of the docks here in the southeastern section of the island, and we will find our 4 heroes disembarking off of that boat. They're going to make their way into the island, and as they do so, they will once again find that the island of Nu, much like the island of Daragos, where our tale began, is an island that is set in the archipelago, which is covered in snow and ice. This far north, the weather complements that type of year almost year-round, and some members of our party, Isa specifically, is an elementalist who sometimes controls that cold. So she is the one out of the 4 companions that we see tonight who actually doesn't seem to be bothered by the Arctic chill that is more pronounced here in Nu. She walks along, her breath not seen in the brisk after night air, whereas the other 3 have a little bit of a chill that comes upon them because it is much colder here than Daragos where they left. Specifically, we're going to find the 4 of them make their way towards a large and opulent tower that streaks up out of the surrounding establishments. This tower, as mentioned, is the Tower of Arcane Sciences, found specifically here on Nu. It is a large, opposing structure, but not in a sinister way. It's really just more of a sign of the opulence and the sign of the past that this history is put onto this island. This island was where the Mageocracy began. When the Willoi who founded it first arrived, this is where they came, and thus this is where their power spread from. The island, we will all know, is, again, Capital Island, so there are lots of buildings here that are much more elaborate and rich than the islands we saw at Daragos. They are buildings that mark it as a capital city. There is a lot more people here as well. Mainly, we will find that the main numbers here are going to be fellow Willoi, who are a new race here to Notte. The Willoi are characters who have a deep connection to the land, and their souls are partially connected to the magic of the world around them. There's also some elves and some half-elves as well, and after a brief little investigation, we'll say, the party discovered that the Archmage of this island is in fact an elf, and she looks over the island with a watchful gaze. But our heroes are pretty good at getting past watchful gazes. So as we arrive here on the island and you all are making your way towards the tower, we come in to the 4 of you already in mid-discussion and in mid-planning. So the night is yours. What would you all like to do?
Pem pulls up the collar of his ermine leather jacket, winter coat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is a hare wearing an ermine coat.
Fitting.
He's just like looking around and shivering and going, "Is there an inside in here somewhere?"
Would I know of a place that we could go?
I think probably, yeah. Out of the four of you, I think you've definitely been here before, at the very least for studies going back and forth between the tower that you are from and the tower here. I think, yeah, there's lots of different buildings, inns, and different things like that. Specifically, do you want to go directly to the tower that you know that this mystical vault is beneath, or do you want to go someplace else? What do you think would be the best choice for you all right now?
Well, we don't know. Do we know much about the vault itself? Where exactly it's located? Do we have a way in? I know that Ulthane said that he wouldn't be able to protect us if we were to get caught. And some of us are not exactly. We don't look like the other people here.
That's right. Yes, definitely Issa would fit quite in because she herself being a Willoy, she looks like most of the other people around in terms of the height, the weight, the build, that sort of thing. You know, being a Karevi, Kaywin, you probably could pass for what is the typical look here as well, but with your dark black eyes and your bright red hair, you're definitely a step apart from everyone else. And the other two of you, one being an Iraqian fox person and the other being a Harengon, yes, you definitely look very different indeed, especially with you being so short. Pam, you're what, 3'4" we had found out?
3'4.5", 3'6"
Okay.
with the years.
Oh, yes, I want to give you every inch because every inch counts, especially. Yes, so yes, 3'6", we'll say. But yeah, there's establishments here that you'd be able to go into. It's not like you're not welcome here, not being from the Willowy race. So there's nothing like that going on. So it's really just a matter of how prepared you guys think you might be. Now, Ulthane did tell you all that the vault specifically you're looking for that houses the Mage Discordance is located beneath the Tower of Arcane Sciences. So you at least know that. But other than that, he didn't know too much about the defenses or what exactly you might have to come across. I guess he was just relying on your talents and your skills to know such things yourselves. So,
All right.
Are we attracting sort of weird, undue attention from people because of who we are, or are people not really caring?
I think that there's people who perhaps notice that there's people who arrive, but it's not like there's people gawking at you, anything like that. Most of the people here are very studious, so they've at least studied about other cultures and things like that. So they're not too out of place. No, you guys should be all right.
Well, I'm still avoiding looking too much in Issa's direction, or shielding himself from the light. Kaywin will be like, my lady, I would assume that you would know best where to proceed from here. I know that I wouldn't mind getting in out of the cold, as I'm afraid my fingers and toes are about to fall off, and I need those. But have you been here before? Do you know where we might perhaps find a little bit of warmth and lodging, the better to prepare ourselves for what's to come?
I have been here before, yes. I've studied here. We could go to an inn, perhaps. Get something in our bellies, a bit of warm fire, and discuss our next move.
That sounds great.
Very well, then. And she'll lead them to whatever inn she knows is closest.
Absolutely.
Well,
There is an inn nearby known as yes. There is an inn nearby known as the Tarnished Cup, and you know that this is an inn that, for all intents and purposes here in the island of New, is a lower scale, but as the three of you approach with your companion Issa, you will notice that it is quite a bit better than any of the other establishments that you saw in Daragos. Now, I should make note, the Mageocracy of New in general all has the same wealth level, but there's just something a little different about the buildings here. Again, they just have a certain, I don't know, aesthetic that marks them as better, I guess you could say. So even though this is the dive bar of this area, it definitely looks nicer than most of the places you guys have been in recently. So
Might be a bit rich for my blood, but
Well, I'm sure we'll find some way to accommodate you, Rocket. Yeah. So yeah, go there and just try to find a quiet corner maybe, and
Yeah.
Preferably near the fire.
yeah,
Absolutely.
put the rabbit's ears in the fire and.
Oh, well, could be tasty, yes. As the four of you
It's
enter within, you will
rosemary.
find that the establishment is, in fact, it has the same basic makeup as the population you've seen outside. It's about half Willoy, there's a couple of elves, and 2 half-elves as well. They're all interspersed throughout the room, and the atmosphere in here is still an atmosphere of basically everyone's calm, everyone's has, this is like an upper crust type of establishment. Again, even though this is the lower establishments here, it's still pretty hoity-toity, I think Racket might use the term. Uh, and as you all enter, people just glance up in a typical, just a way to notice that people come in. But again, they don't have alarm. They don't have any sort of strange about you being there. If everyone could please, as you enter within, make a perception check for me.
You said everybody glances up. Did anybody glance down?
I think because everybody glances up, nobody actually saw you.
Can I use my passive or?
Yeah,
Wanna
that's
roll?
fine if everyone wants to make a pass. Actually, let's do it that way. What is everyone's passive perceptions?
Okay, I'll do that.
14.
18.
Both was 15. So
16.
Okay. I think all of you then are going to notice that there are 2 people specifically in the room that kind of stand out, especially because you're going to see that Issa kind of nods to them, kind of gives them a little bit of a, hey, notice those people over there kind of insight. 2 of the people in the room, they are both female. They are tall and they have that same pale skin, lighter hair. Their eyes have a slight glow. One is a kind of an off blue type color. The other is like a greenish seafoam kind of color. They are both dressed the same. They are dressed with a type of tunic, a type of outfit that has a similar cut, a similar look to the guardsman outfits that you saw on Daragos. However, these are, whereas on Daragos everything seemed to be green and blue and things like this, these are red and gold. These 2 also have certain studded leather built into their outfits as well, and they each have a shoulder pad on the left shoulder that has a specific marking on it, a rune of sorts, that Issa, without even needing to roll, you're going to recognize that the symbol is of the island of Nu here. So it's a like a half circle, almost looks like a crescent moon with a, for lack of a better description, almost looks like a crescent moon with a spear through it. So it's kind of like a trident kind of look. But yeah, these would be guardsmen who, with the proximity to the Tower of Arcane Sciences, would be probably guards to that building itself.
So when we notice them, and as we're sitting, and without, not doing it loud enough that they would hear anything, I'll say, Lady Issa, actually, I guess perhaps the first question I might wish to have an answer to is, how do you believe the inhabitants of the area are bound to react to us going into the temple this way and searching and removing a possible artifact from it? Should we expect some sort of resistance or threat from them, or?
I would imagine that we would like to do this as carefully as possible.
And unseen as possible.
Yes, unseen would be the important word here. Perhaps if it were just I, not as much. Though again, I don't know much or anything about this vault. As I said, I've only been here to study.
So what do we know then? Just to go over what we've been told. We know about the item itself being an astrolabe, made of platinum, I do believe. It is what is called the Mage Discordance. That is the name of the item.
Yes.
We were told to expect that it may not react as expected in the moonlight, as it is normally an object that was used to the sun. That it is beneath the vault. And is there anything we know that I'm missing?
Another thing of note that especially Issa would know, that I'm not sure if she relayed this information to all of you or not, but she was made aware by Allthane that this item may react differently to a Willoy who tries to build it, because it was specifically built basically in the land where the Willoy are from before it came here. So it might have different properties than the magics that are here on Nier. This kind of gave her some thoughts and led to a little bit of a dream, vision, maybe we could call it, that she had alone when you all were resting for the night. That kind of gave her some insight about that as well. I think in the meantime, though, you guys are all pretty experienced with doing stuff. Did any of you maybe do any research on your own, maybe any sort of insight or investigation to try to see if there was any more information you could find out yourselves?
So Pim hears what Kaylin is asking.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I'll be right back. And he starts walking toward the guards. He's
dear.
Okay. None of you make a move to do anything then, it seems.
Yeah, if I see him get up and go towards her, I'd be like, Pam, 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 Pam.
And he continues out of earshot, or maybe he's within earshot, doesn't care.
Oh, dear. Oh.
And Pam, you do approach these two guardswomen. They are sitting there. They seem to be in a discussion. They have, how is your insight?
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Would you like me to
passive
roll it?
insight? Unless you want to size them up.
I mean, let's start the day off right. Natural 20 for a 23.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I love it. That is a great way to start the day. Yes, use all the nat 20s now. Looking at the two guardswomen, how they're interacting, how they're kind of surveying the room, you can tell that although they're here in a tavern, seemingly having a conversation, they still have that heightened awareness to them. They're still, for lack of a better term, they're still on duty. They're still working.
Are they drinking?
They have drinks. You can tell they are not drinking them.
Okay. Excuse me.
They both look for a second, and the
down
one
here.
looks down and sees you. Yes, she says, looking down at you.
Your pleasures. I like what you're wearing. He like pops his red vest.
you.
Question for you two lovely ladies.
The one, actually, when you say lovely lady, she just kind of rolls her eyes, and the one who's been talking to you goes, yes.
You're kind of like people who protect stuff, right?
We are guardswomen of the Tower of Arcane Sciences, if that is what you are asking.
Sure. Yeah. Sorry, my apologies. I am Pemblebrook the Harlequin. Nice to meet you.
The one who rolled her eyes says, what exactly are you? I haven't seen anyone of your kind here before. I'm always curious about strangers from different lands. You're not an Iraqian, are you?
Oh no, I'm just Pem.
And the first one who was talking to you, a Pem that is called Pem, that is peculiar.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm normal.
What brings you in here, Pem?
I have a question for you lovely ladies.
We are all ears.
So you guard stuff?
Oh, we answered that question, yes.
Right. That wasn't the question. I was just
Oh,
setting up the question. Sorry.
okay.
As I am someone who finds things, valuable things, if I wanted to have you guard my valuable thing, do you have a way of protecting it?
I'm sorry, was that a question? You're saying that you find things and that we guard things. These sound like two statements.
No, I find valuable things.
Okay.
So when I go find something valuable, if I want it protected, is there anything you can do to protect it?
Oh, I see. That was a bit more to the point. Yes, if you find something of arcane intrinsic nature and value, if it is taken to the Tower of Arcane Studies, we would probably be able to study it and to protect it there. Yes.
Well, I guess my question is, how would you protect it?
And the other one who was curious about who you might be, the one who was curious, are you specifically asking us how exactly we do our jobs? That sounds a little peculiar.
I'll come over at this point and be like, Pam, there you are. Oh, I'm so sorry, ladies. Is my familiar pestering you? I'm deeply sorry. How often do I have to tell you, Pam? You don't just approach strangers and strike up random conversations with them. I'm sorry. He gets one drink in him, and
I didn't even have a drink
all
yet.
bets are off. I'm really sorry if he was disturbing you.
A familiar? Are you?
I'll take him. I'll take him with me now. Come on, Pam. Let's
Well,
go back.
this lovely lady was about to answer. I'm not.
Thank you, kind sir, for coming to retrieve your familiar. It will be good for our state of mind. Yes.
Yes,
thank
please. Enjoy the rest of your libations, and please, I'd like to pay for them. So I'll talk to the innkeeper.
Hey, can you tell me how you protect stuff?
I'll tell you everything you need to know about it, Pam. Come on. And I look at him like,
I'm getting it. I'm getting it from them.
Pam, please make an insight check with advantage.
Another one. At disadvantage?
At advantage.
Oh, at advantage.
Yes.
21.
21. Yeah, you can tell that definitely your companion, Kaywin here, is definitely like, hey, no, come on, let's go. He could tell that, this is causing a scene. This is causing a problem. This isn't him adding some sort of...
I know, but just give him a chance to answer.
yeah. We'll talk about it over there. Come on, buddy. I'm deeply sorry. Dinner's on me. Your dinner's on me. I deeply apologize.
They both just look at you guys both from what they turn back to you, and then you'll see that the very first one that you approached, Pam, the one who did most of the talking, she looks up and she actually watches the two of you sit down. I'll say from your vantage point of where you're sitting, Racket, you'll see that she actually is intently watching the table of the four of you. You've seen guardsmen do the type of thing before. They are basically, she's taking stock of who all is together, who you are, what you look like, in that quick little mental note. She says something kind of out of the corner of her mouth that the other one is pretending to drink, nods at, and after about another 30 seconds, the two of them stand and leave.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Pam, what were you thinking, buddy?
What do you
We literally just got done saying we had to be freaking, subtle.
Right.
And so you walk up to the guards.
And they were about to tell me how to do
They weren't about to tell you anything. They thought you were very suspicious.
Well, of course they did. I am suspicious.
Exactly. So maybe don't walk up to guards.
It works before.
No, it didn't work that time either. And we've had this talk.
It worked in the end. It worked. Maybe not at first.
Yeah, but I don't think we have time to break out of prison this time.
I want to turn to Miss Vidater. I'm worried that they're going to keep a closer eye on us. I'm just gonna go and listen in to see if they're talking about us. So I want to kind of sneak off after them if I could.
I'm gonna be like, I don't think it's a good idea.
And I think much like a mirror of when Pem ran off, I think Racket moves through the crowd, as it were, of this tavern and out through the front door to a similar effect.
That's a good idea, Racket.
Racket, you can go outside. We'll come back to you in just a moment. Issa, as you sit there with these other two, you've overheard this conversation. What exactly is going through your mind right now?
I realize that now we're going to be looked at a lot more closely, where once we were just new strangers in town, now we're suspicious new strangers in town, which is making me a little bit more nervous. I'm curious as to what time of night it is.
Absolutely.
Good question.
It is a few hours just after midnight, or high moon, as it would be called in this world. So it's the equivalent of, because in near the moon and the sun, because there is no sun, the moon is the main source of light, so it's kind of been switched. This would be like the equivalent of hour, like 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look to Kaywin and Pem and say,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
please, it's okay. I do think we need to be a bit smarter with our approach. As it
I agree.
grows later in the day, in the evening, perhaps then is when we should be making our advances as others are falling asleep. Taking this time during the day to discuss how will we do so would be the best way to spend our time. Questioning guards around here is probably not the best idea.
I'm
Pem's
totally
crestfallen, just broken. Just,
I'm going to. It might be too late. Never mind. I have it. Like, all right. I dread to leave you alone here with Pem, but I want to go and haul Racket back in here. Pem. Stay put.
There's no guards left.
Just stay put.
I mean, I could ask the bartender, but they don't know.
Don't ask anything. Just have a drink. Have some lettuce.
You think there's lettuce on this iceberg?
Probably. You can ask that. I'll be right back. And I'm gonna go and try and find Racket.
Amazing. If we were playing with inspiration, Tim, that would be amazing. So Racket, while they were having this conversation, you crossed out the front door in a hurried pace, but not enough to draw any more attention to you. As you get outside, you will see the two guards women. They stand out because they are dressed so differently than everyone. Even though it is a sea of Willoy, when they move through, you can still see their outfits. You recognize them. And you can see that as they're walking along, they seem to be having very short, terse conversations with one another. They are walking in the direction of that tower that you all can see from the vantage point of when you arrived.
Oh, okay. So they're not chatting. They didn't see me come out, did they?
They don't seem to be looking back in the direction of the inn. No.
Oh. Okay. If they don't seem like they're gonna stick in the area because they're interested in us at all, probably turn around and to go back inside.
Okay. What is your passive perception?
Mine's 15.
15. Okay. Let me roll something real quick. Okay. You go to turn to go back into the tavern with your companions, and when you do, you see something out of the corner of your eye. You're a mercenary, so you have seen all kinds of jobs, all kinds of different assignments, I guess we'll say. So you know what it looks like when people are sneaking up on people or when people are following people. And without a doubt, there is a figure who slips in through part of the crowd, who follows in behind these two guardswomen, who you can tell is trying to be non-conspicuous, but is definitely noticed by you because of your honed senses. They are following the two guardswomen, and you can see that they are following them, and there is a hand that moves to their waist as if they're reaching for something. but they don't pull or draw anything, but you can just tell that they have a sort of impetus to follow these two guardsmen.
I'm gonna tail their tail.
Okay. You go to follow them real quick. Let's have Kaywin and Racket, please just roll d20s, just straight off the bat, no modifiers.
13.
13?
17.
17. Okay. And you do, with that instinct, you take off behind them. So Kaywin, as you get out the front door, what is your passive perception? We're going to make use of passive perceptions tonight. Well, actually, I think you'd be actively looking for Racket. So what's your perception?
Oh, me?
Yeah, make a perception test, please.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. I changed my mind. So.
Apart from my 13 there, if I write a perception test, that would be... I get advantage on that, so that would be 17.
Okay. And as you go out the front door, expecting Racket to be somewhat nearby, you don't see them, so you look and you can see that they're taking off through the crowd. They're
Taking off how, like running or like?
I'm
How are
trying
you
to be
taking off,
sneaky,
Racket?
I think. Trying.
Yeah. Much like the figure that Racket saw, Racket's moving with a sense of purpose, but it's not being like, hey, look at me, I'm chasing after these people, you know? So. And you can definitely tell that Racket's
Damn
out of
it.
earshot, so you can't be like, hey, Racket, what are you doing? Because
Yeah.
they're moving quick.
Damn it! I'm gonna trust
That's
Racket.
not how
I'm
you
gonna
were
go back.
expecting this visit to go.
No, I'll go back inside. I'm gonna trust Racket here for a second. I'm gonna go back inside.
Okay.
Famous last words. I'm gonna trust Racket. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
back.
probably. After just a moment, the other two of you will see that Kaywin comes back in. He crosses back over to the table.
What? I didn't do anything.
I just ignore Pem, and I'm like so flustered at this point that I just look straight at Issa. I don't even like avert my eyes or anything. I'm like, all right. I just saw Racket take off through the crowd, following those two guards.
Oh, good job, Racket.
I know. I think Racket's probably moderately more level-headed than Pem is, but I mean that's we're talking a question of ounces here. So. I think it would probably not be a bad idea for us to leave this place right now, and we can go out, I think, and try to see what Racket's up to, but maybe go somewhere
Issa's
else. where
already
we haven't
standing as you're speaking
God,
about
such
this.
I'm so sorry, my lady.
You know she's moving.
Yeah, I know.
Are we going?
Yeah, we're going.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
And I think Issa pushes past the two of you, I would assume, and is
Yes,
making her way
yeah.
to the front door
Mhm.
very purposefully as well.
Wow, she's in a hurry.
She's trying to not look like rushed or inconspicuous in any way, but she's just standing and making her way as Kaywin is explaining this to her.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I don't know, rush away casually.
As one does, yes. There is a merchant behind the bar. The term barkeep wouldn't really apply to a place like this, but there is a merchant behind the bar who glances up and notices all of you leaving moments after you all came in, but just goes back to doing whatever it is he's doing, doesn't make a note of it.
I give him a salute.
Okay, he'll just kind of, with a glass, like a goblet type glass that he has, just kind of holds up, gives you a nod. Meanwhile, Racket, you are following these figures, so you are trying to move silently and trying to sneak and be stealthy. So what is your plan here? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to intercept this figure? Are you trying to rush up to the guardswomen to warn them? What is your method here?
I'm tailing their tail to find out like what that person's intentions are.
Mhm.
I'm trying to not be seen by the guardswomen at all. I'm more interested in this sketchy guy.
Sure. As the two guardswomen are still making their way towards the tower, you will see that this figure that you were following is still following them with the same method. As he's moving about, you will see that he has one of those things where now he does, in fact, you can see from the way he's positioned, his hand does close around a handle of something that's on his belt. It's like a sash. The outfit that he's wearing blends into the Willowy type of dress, long tunic type of look, but it's very dark. It's very much would help him blend in, basically. You see his hand close around something, like I said, in the belt sash of it. And as he moves a little bit closer to them, you'll see that the guards go to split. And right as they go to split, he pulls on that sash, and there is a glint of metal that is caught by the moonlight. I will say, in this little surprise round, as it were, both you and he would be able to move. Let's roll a quick initiative just to determine who moves first. It's not a full-on combat, but it's just enough for us to get an idea if you get the drop on him or not.
All right.
15.
I think I also got 15. I might have. Yeah, I just have a 15 as well.
Okay, what is your initiative modifier?
+4.
Okay, then you will go just before him. He's got a +3. So what happens is, as he pulls it, you have a time to react and do something. What do you want to do?
I would like to. Would it be? I have a Horn of Silent Alarm.
Ooh.
I probably have it set up with Kaylin, and I if it's just like a quick action, I'd like to do a little toot, and then I want to. I probably shouldn't throw my sickle at him, but I'm gonna go and try to intercept this glint with my sickle.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'll say as you pull your sickle off the side, you have the horn come out on the other side, and as you bring it to your lips, Kaywin. And now, how does the horn work? Is it just Kaywin hears it? Does it make a sound that everyone in the party hears? How does it work?
So it is a one creature of my choice, provided the creature is within 600 feet. No other creature hears any sound.
Okay. So right as you're getting to the door, Kaywin, I'll say you're the last of the three. Right as you get to the door, you hear a whoo in your ear. That you know this is the horn. You guys used this before in the previous jobs that you've done before in the past, so you know what it is. You could tell it's definitely your companion Racket calling for aid. And Racket, right as the knife brandishes out, he spins it in hand, and he brings it down towards one of the guardswomen. The other guardswoman, right as it's coming down, she just kind of does one of these, like she reacts, she sees. But in that moment, you surge before, and you go to intercept with the sickle. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Sure.
We'll make it an opposition to his attack roll, and we'll see if you're able to catch him, stop him, whatever we want to call it.
I rolled the wrong one, but it's an 11.
Okay. So he brings that dagger down. And right as you shoot between, you bring the sickle across. He takes that dagger and he stabs it down right into the back behind the shoulder blades of the guardswoman, the one who was the other one, not the main one who was talking to you all. Plunges it down to the hilt right in her back, and she twitches. And then he grabs her and pulls her back away. And as he does so, your sickle slices towards him. Because of the positioning here, that's going to hit him. So what's the damage on that?
Oh, that is 1d4 plus 4. Let's see. So that is an 8. And I can also, I have a slasher ability. So when I use a slashing weapon, I can reduce a creature's speed. And I gain the ability to wound a creature on a critical hit, which I...
Oh, very cool. Very cool. I love that. That's an ability of your new subclass, the Zon Mercenary, correct?
It's a slasher feat, actually. I think.
Oh, it's a feat. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool too. I love it. New rules. There's a new rule for me. That's why I was like, ooh, what is that? Okay. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Yeah. So, and as he starts dragging her down towards the ground, he goes, ugh, as you slice right through his hamstring on the back of his thigh, and he drops to a knee. She clatters to the ground, and she twitches once on the ground with the dagger still in her back. And with that, you see the other one who, like I said, was getting an idea of what was going on. She looks down. She looks to him, looks to her companion, looks to you, and she reaches for a weapon on her side. It looks like a baton of some sort. And at this moment, the other three of you come out the front of the tavern. You can see there's now people in the crowd. And they're starting to move around. And as they
Racket.
You what? You found her? Yes.
No. That's Racket.
Yeah. Right.
The people screaming.
Yes, right as the people split, you see what's going on. So, what do you all do? This is kind of just cinematic, not really combat round. So, what do the three of you want to do?
I will say definitely once I hear the thing, I will say, Racket's in trouble, and I'll start,
I will
heading
bound.
that way at a casual rush.
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
Not like full out, but like,
Yeah,
Full
you're not
out
breaking into
going
a
there.
sprint, right?
Full out sprint.
Okay, Pem does in fact go into a full-out sprint, though. Yeah, he zooms right past you. He's running on his little quick legs. How about you?
I'm
Lisa?
gonna follow. I'm gonna follow along at Kaywin's side.
Okay. Yes, indeed. The Willoy and the Karevi, two sides of a coin, as it were, moving in tandem towards as Pem just shoots between you guys. And as he moves between you guys, the figure on the ground, he rips that dagger free and he swings it at you. Racket.
Mm,
17 plus 4 is a 21.
Ouch.
it definitely hits. Yeah.
Okay. It swipes up and it slashes across part of your face. Oh, wrong die. It's a D4, not a D8.
I don't need both eyes.
Right. Well, he rolls minimum damage, so you're going to take 2 points of slashing damage as he cuts it. So it's superficial. It just glances across right below your eye on your cheekbone, and as it glances off, you can see that his eyes narrow. He is human. You can tell by the way he looks. He is kind of darkly complected. He's definitely not from this area. He looks like he's from a distant land of some sort, maybe from Petralta, which is a city that's in the Ashen Lands in the main continent to the south. But yeah, that's what happens. And you can do something real quick if you'd like before your party gets up to you.
I touch where I'm now bleeding, and I go, heh, and that's it.
Nice. You don't want to attack him back, or?
Oh, if I can, yeah.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead. Yeah, you
Actually,
can take a full round. Yeah.
I'm gonna use a bite attack. I think.
Ooh, nice.
Would that be strength or dex weapon?
I would say either. Realistically, it's a natural weapon for you, so it's probably typically strength, but I'm okay with using it finessed, as it were.
I got a 10 again, so.
Okay. You snap out at him, and he actually manages to put his arm up, and your teeth snap right into some sort of metal bracer that's underneath the robes. And as you pull your teeth away, you see it's partially revealed. There's metal gleaming in the moonlight from that as well. And as that's happening, that guardswoman, she pulls out this baton, and she swings it at this guy. And she misses. That's awesome. Great. Good job, NPC. She swings this baton, and as she swings it, there's like a sizzling across it as she swings it through the air. You're not sure what this thing is, but it
Wow.
didn't look too fun.
Don't taste me.
Right. The other three of you are coming closer. I would say at this point, Pam, you are going to reach Racket and the guards people and this bad guy, as it were. The other two of you, because you were kind of moving slower, will get about 30 feet away. So just real quick, again, we're not really rolling initiative. What do you guys want to do?
I mean, Pem is basically going to dart right next to Racket with Rapier leading.
Cool. All right. Go ahead and make an attack roll against that guy. Because you are a rogue, if you hit, you can use your sneak attack because he is in base contact with Racket.
So that is a 27 to hit.
I think that'll do. Yeah, I think we'll take that. Yeah.
And that is 1d8. Plus 11 plus 12 is 23.
Ooh. And you stab him with the rapier, and he drops down to the concrete right as your two companions get up and behind you guys. So Issa and Kaywin, right as you guys arrive, you see that Pem kills this guy. He's a single assailant, and you see that one of the guardswomen is down. She seems to be, at the very least, paralyzed or something if she's not dead. The other one is now standing there with, you would recognize what this weapon is, specifically Issa. This is a baton of some sort that the guards people here use. They subdue everyone here. They don't really kill people because it's much more interesting to everyone here to find out why, as opposed to solving why, I guess you could say. So they're more into interrogations and people having long imprisonments and things like that, as opposed to being quick and just and killing people. So
Right.
I'm going to right away go to the fallen guardswoman.
Okay. Yeah.
And first I'll check if she's alive or dying or whatnot, and then I will cast heal on her. I will heal her to try and save her life.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with just casting a cure wounds and see if that stabilizes her and sort of brings her back. And if there's more needed, I'll do more after.
Sure. Okay.
So it'll be 8 hit points that I will give back.
Yeah, you see her eyes flutter once or twice and then open slowly. She starts blinking, looking around. She definitely seems to be stabilized. She looks very weak, though. The other guardswoman looks to you, Issa. What is the meaning of this? Do you just let your servants go around and do these sorts of things?
Yeah, sorry about that.
She's gonna look to the guardswoman and say, it looks as though my friend has just stopped something from happening to you. And it seems as though my other friend has just saved your life, at least your guardswoman's life.
She just kind of looks around the street for a moment.
I'm sorry, miss. Look, we're not involved in this. We just, my friend here, and I pointed Racket, saw this, and I pointed the assailant, take an unhealthy interest in the two of you and follow you. She decided to follow. Sorry, Racket, he decided to follow just to see what was up. And I guess, Racket, what happened? Did you see them up to something, or?
I saw a glint as I was tailing your tail. My deepest apologies. Is there if there's a title for the guardswomen? I would probably use that. But yeah, I tried to intercept, but I was not quick enough. Of my apologies. I was only trying to help. I'm new in town, but I got a little too eager. And yeah, I'll just kind of step back.
As you are guards of the area, I assume Racket simply felt that it was the law-abiding citizen thing to do to help you out in this particular predicament, especially if this individual had nefarious intent towards you. I'll move over and start investigating the nefarious individual while I'm talking.
Okay. And as you move forward, the guardswoman looks to you again, Issa.
Mm-hmm.
And these three have opportunity to move without your consent, then. They are servants that you give a little bit more leeway to, it would seem.
You keep using this word, servant. I don't believe I used that word. Could you remind me of the word I did use?
They are your traveling companions, then. They are not under your employ. It's not something we typically see here in the island of New. Newcomers with a bit more outlandish ideas allowed to carry them out. Are you not from here either, then? She says.
I believe we're getting ahead of ourselves. I do believe that you owe an apology to my friends. And while you're apologizing, may you say your thanks to them as well. It is only right.
Snap, Racket, she's amazing.
Daragos, then, I take it. Yes, thank you very much for coming to my aid. I am appreciative. And thank you, she says, looking at you, Kaywin. It's not every day that I see a Karevi rush into battle for the sake of aiding those who are Reloi. My thanks to you as well. And to you, of course, for slaying this man and for not giving me proper opportunity to find out why exactly it is that he did what he did. Thank you. Pem, it was.
Yeah,
Correct?
sorry about that.
I'm checking the guy. Oh, sorry.
bracket. It just happens.
Can he be healed also, the assailant, or?
I think enough time has passed. He is dead. So unless you have something to,
I did turn his heart
Raise
into
him?
a shish kebab.
yeah, unless you have something to raise the dead.
Yeah, I don't. I normally have. I have a spell I could, but I didn't learn it. So
Okay, that's fine.
Kaylin, may not be a good idea in current company to start raising dead people.
I'll look at the guardswoman, the one that I healed. Are you okay?
Yes. And she looks up at you, and she's trying to kind of get her bearings about herself. Yes, I'm thank you.
Can you get healing at either at your barracks or something? Is there someone you can see, or?
Of course, yes. And the other guardswoman, the Archmage herself, will see to our aid. Thank you. And she actually reaches down, she helps the other one up. Since my thanks have been given to your friends, I would advise you to perhaps not interfere with the businesses of the guardsmen again.
Okay, we'll let you die next time.
I'm deeply sorry. We were just trying to help. We will certainly be more careful in the future. Do you require help with the body, or I'm guessing you will be taking care of the situation?
Thank you. I am
All right.
fine.
Is it a? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
please go.
I was actually say she actually looks to you because she can
Is
tell
the
you.
attacker another Willoy?
No, he looks like he's a human. Now that
Okay.
Kaywin did kind of go to investigate a little bit,
Mhm.
Kaywin will see that he is a human. He has dark, wavy hair, almost curly, like tight curls, but it's more wavy. It's longer. He has darkly complected skin. Definitely someone who would not be from this area where it's really cold and there's a lot of lighter skinned people. Plus, as we mentioned before, there's nobody in these islands, this archipelago here, that are not Willoy, Elven, or half Elven, except for you guys.
Okay.
And now this person. So he definitely stands out.
Does he have any markings on his body? Like when I'm looking to see if he needs healing, I would kind of
Mhm.
try to look around, see if he's got any markings.
Absolutely. You do see that as you're looking around, he does have, you kind of pull around his tunic a little bit. You see he has a branding on his chest, his left pectoral, that basically looks like some sort of, you've never seen it before, it looks like some sort of ornamental claw type shape that's actually burned onto his skin there. Definitely a brand of sorts that would mark him as part of an organization, maybe something nefarious.
Can I just sort of commit it to memory, and I'll try to draw it out later with my calligrapher's supplies.
Oh, of course.
Once we're, wait. I'll say, all right. Very well. Glad the two of you are okay. We'll take our leave. Sorry for the trouble. We'll definitely try to hew more to local customs, and please don't think ill of our friend Issa here. She is.
She's a badass. Don't
She's just
forget
very
it.
kind with us. That's all. All right.
So, Issa, there's a lot that's gone on here.
Mhm.
Again, you've been to New before. You know that the area here, it's definitely a different paradigm than what you're used to. Again, this is an archipelago of islands. There's lots of many islands, but the main three being New and Daragos and another island that we haven't really gotten into yet, but we will. There's a different kind of atmosphere. This one definitely, like I said, there's more of a higher crust here, and apparently a little bit of xenophobia as well, which you just witnessed, which is a little bit offsetting. So when the woman goes to leave, her curt nod that she gives you is actually quite a bit of a respectful thing, despite the fact that it looks really dismissive.
Yeah, I feel like when Issa is talking to her, she's it's very authoritative. Like, I'm bigger and older than you, and like, hello.
Yes.
So is she leaving now?
She is taking the other guards woman. She has her arm like around her shoulder. She's like helping her walk, and they're going in towards the tower. You see that as they're approaching the front door, it's another 30 feet. They get about halfway there, and there are two other guards women all women, you notice, that come out and move in to intersect and help the injured party,
Okay.
as it were. Yeah.
I pocket the dagger.
Of the bad guy?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. And what's-
Issa's gonna look to Kaywin and ask him, did you search the body? Did you find anything?
I did. I saw something. I'll try to draw it once we get to someplace
And his
quiet.
pockets?
I don't know. I assumed I searched whatever I could off
Yeah.
of him.
Let's retroactively make an investigation check real quick, please.
Okay.
I mean, you already saw the brand. That would have been included on a check, and we found the dagger, obviously, because now Pem has it. But let's just see if you find anything else. There is something else to find. I maybe shouldn't meta and tell you that, but we'll see.
That's all right. I'm going to find it. I got 22.
Okay. You do also find that he has a small parchment that is rolled up and tucked into his sash as well, right next to where the dagger was. It is written in the common tongue. It seems to be strange, though. It's words that don't make sense. They're like out of order. And it basically is something that marks it as something of, it almost looks like a, for lack of a better description, like a shopping list. It's just a list of different things. Turnips, parsnips, lettuce, carrots, things. It doesn't make sense. You're not sure what it is.
A secret shopping list.
Aren't you an archivist? Is Issa an archivist, Creep, or?
No.
All right. I'm an archivist, and
Mhm.
one of the things with archivists is that when you read something in a language that you speak, you can normally get more out of it than a normal
Indeed.
person does. So,
Yes.
I mean, I don't think leaning, on my knees here in the middle of the street next to this dead body with all these guards, I'm going to take the time to do that.
Yeah,
But I'm
sure.
going to take a quick look at it. I'm going to see it's kind of weird, and I think it piques my curiosity enough that I'm going to slip it, into my cloak, and then I'll try to
Absolutely.
move us on away from here to try and go and find, kind of a quiet place to hunker down for a bit.
Absolutely.
Like maybe if we can find another inn, but we're not going to go in the public room. We should try and find a room or something that we can kind of have a little bit of
Okay.
quiet time.
Is there another inn that I can lead us to? I feel
Yes.
like she wouldn't return to the same one where we've already kind of made a scene.
Okay, yeah, sure. I think that's fitting. Something that you all notice that's very odd to all of you, even you, Issa, who is a Veloy, who is from the archipelago here, something that's very weird that you all notice is because this guy is dead, they seem to have forgotten him. They don't care. They don't investigate him. They don't look at him. It's apparently...
It's weird, man.
Yeah, it's apparently that unless this guy was alive to question, they don't really care anymore. To them, the matter is closed. He tried to kill the guardswoman. He's dead now. It's over. So it's kind of a strange thing. I mean, you'll notice that some of the guards women come out and drag him away, but it's not to like drag him inside and revive him or anything. They just drag him away like you would drag away, oh, here's some trash we got to pick up. It's very weird. It's very weird. But yeah, I think you all find another inn. Again, it's the same kind of level of upscale. This inn is called the Peachy. I'm making this one in a moment here because I thought you guys would be at the Tarnished Mug. That's fine. We'll call this.
The tarnished mug.
Yes, we'll call this.
Peaches.
We'll call it.
There you
we'll
go.
call
The
this
Wiccan
one-
tallow. The Wiccan tallow.
Oh, I like that. The Wiccan tallow. I love that. That's
Okay.
cool. That's very cool. It's better than when I was coming up with.
Sorry, that's my go-to whenever I need a quick inn name in one of my games.
Well, I love it, and you know what? Canon.
Canon.
Yes, you find an inn called the Wiccan Tallow, and for the sake of brevity, you all go within. You are able to secure rooms. It's going to cost you all for the rooms here. There are 4 of you. Do you get separate rooms, together rooms? You guys debate about it for a little bit. What do you guys kind of decide? Do you think?
I would assume we would get one room because we're probably not going to be using it much other than to discuss. And I would say Issa probably goes ahead and pays for that room for everybody. I would also imagine she would buy a round of drinks for everyone.
Oh, okay. Absolutely. I think all of this said and done, the room for, we'll say you get it for just the night. You get a round of drinks, maybe some food as well for dinner later. We'll say all of this is going to be a total of 2 gold to kind of just have that. So you spend that money. We'll say, again, to make it easy, we'll say that Althane gave you a small budget, as it were. So it just comes out of that.
Cool.
So yeah, so later we'll find you guys. You're in the room, and as we are in the room, really quick, everybody has moments. They're reflecting on everything, and in this moment, it will be that Kaywin finishes sketching out this branding that he saw, and again, he kind of shows it to everyone. It looks basically like a three-pronged claw. It's different than the trident type shape that you saw on the guards people. It's almost, whereas that was very symmetrical, was very pointed, was very elaborate, not elaborate, excuse me, very purposeful. This is more natural looking, something almost tribal looking, something that looks old. Again, a little bit of a runic look to it. I would like to think that Issa and also Racket can make knowledge tests here to see if they have an idea. I think you guys would have different approaches here because Racket, you've seen some stuff. You've been through the world. You're a mercenary. And I think, Issa, you've been doing some research. So,
yeah, I was going to ask if this is something maybe I've read about. History check?
Yeah, let's have you make a history test. And Racket, let's have you go ahead and make a, I believe you have like a streetwise type of vibe to you. So I think we're going to do a, not really history either. So they used to have local knowledge for rogue type characters. Do you have any proficiencies in any knowledge skills?
Maybe, not much. I was thinking maybe survival, but that doesn't.
I rolled a 27, so I don't know how much you need to sweat it.
Okay. Nice. Okay. You know what? If that's okay, then Racket, we'll just say that. Oh yeah, that looks cool.
You stand for encyclopedia.
Yeah. That volume of your encyclopedia you did not pack for the mission. Oops. You packed the one about vaults, not the one about markings, so you're not sure. Yeah, Issa, you take a look at it, and yes, you've done extensive studies over the years. You are a studious person. You've studied the Wooloi culture. You've studied different meteors, different signs of the heavens of the Celestial War. And something from actually, when you see this marking, something from last night in your dreams flashes across your mind. A memory that surges to the forefront. This marking was on the figures who were behind that single man who attacked the Enclave, who attacked all the mages of the circle of the Wooloi land. This is a symbol that you have also, because of that, you knew what it meant then, but now that it's here again, it's a bit concerning. The tyrant, the individual who was responsible, the outsider who came to the Wooloi lands and destroyed it, his followers were a cult that was known as the Obsidian, and this was their mark. They were thought to have all been killed off or destroyed when he fell, but this was a man very much alive and well, now dead, who bears that mark. So this is concerning because the prophecy speaks of the tyrant possibly will have his power returned somehow, and now here's one of his followers.
Are they an alien race as well?
This man and his followers?
Yeah.
No, they are outsiders, and best that you and Althane have kind of determined from the fact that you both were around before the sunset, is that they were the natives of this world who joined with this outsider, who the outsider kind of led them across into the world to attack it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going to share this information with my companions, of course, basically relaying to them that this is the mark of the Obsidian, and I don't know how much of the Wooloi history I would go into, but I would definitely tie it into the prophecy for you guys and make that, like, bridge that gap there for you.
Absolutely.
I'm back to not looking at her directly. So you think that it's not just a random occurrence, that he might be here also for the same reason we are, in some way, shape, or form, connected to that, or?
I imagine that it's not random at all. They're certainly looking for the same thing we are. I don't see any other answer.
Let me see this list that he had. Maybe it'll give us some idea of what he was on about. I'll take out the list again, and yeah, I don't know if there's anything I can do, like I said, as an archivist, to try and see if it makes sense a bit more, if I can at least understand, because Christian thinks that it's probably like, a cipher, but just to see if, I don't know, is there something
Okay. So you look at it again, and specifically, like I said, it looks like a list. Pam made the joke of it being a shopping list. That's kind of what it looks like. It has different things listed upon it, 5 things in total. You notice it says radish, parsnip, carrot, broccoli. Oh, hang on a second. We actually did get back
fuck, do you spell broccoli?
Broccoli. Yeah, so it's radish, parsnip, carrot, broccoli, lemon, and onion.
That's 6 things.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say 5? 6. I apologize.
Okay.
Okay.
I was counting on my fingers.
I appreciate that. No, have your notes in front of you guys when you're telling your PCs things. Little DM tip at home. Yeah, so 6 things: radish, parsnip, carrot, broccoli, lemon, onion.
So, the archivist, what it says is, keep our secret. The archivist holds ancient secrets and mysteries. When the archivist conducts a search on text written in a language he knows, he can get more information on characters, i.e. having advantage on an investigation check. That's what it says.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Go ahead and make an investigation check with advantage then. See if you can kind of glean some information about... You're convinced it's a cipher. I mean, realistically, that makes a lot of sense to you. So let's see if you could figure out if it is in fact.
It's not something Pem would recognize as thieves' cant, is it?
No. It just seems like a list. Thieves' cant would be more of, in this world, it's more of like symbols, sign language type of stuff. It's not actually a spoken thing.
Okay.
Pem would recognize this as, his lunch order.
I mean, yeah,
21
like lunch. So
21 investigation on that.
Okay. As you look at it, you can definitely tell they're all food. That's pretty easy. And, it's common knowledge. All of you would be able to figure that out. You also notice, you kind of look at them to see if they have things in common, if there's a common denominator amongst them all. And you notice that they all are root vegetables, except for broccoli, which actually grows up like in a stalk out of a bush, I guess you could say. And lemons, which obviously aren't root vegetables either. So that kind of marks them as separate. Also on the list, you're going to notice that, again, because they're foods, they're all vegetables. Lemon is not a vegetable, it's a fruit, so that's a bit strange as well. But something that you notice about them too is they're all, with such a high roll, they're all different colors. So maybe there's some sort of order to the colors of them, but you can't be sure.
Okay.
But that would be your best guess. That basically two of them are not root vegetables. One of them is not a vegetable at all, it's a fruit, and that they are all a different color.
All right, so after kind of looking at it for a little bit and trying out a couple of different things on a piece of paper, and just sort of, is it the number of letters, is it the order, kind of thing, I am no expert code breaker, but I remember a long time ago I got the opportunity to read a text by the great thinker, S. Morgenstern, and in that text there was
Greatest thinker of us all.
That's right. There was this concept that he had of a sort of a wheel of colors, and within that wheel of color he had gone through this discussion of the different seasons and so on and so forth, but it's the closest thing I can find here, where each of these vegetables has a very marked, distinct color associated to them. And there are other things that are perhaps worth mentioning, the fact that most of them are root vegetables and so on and so forth, but I do think that if the one aspect of it that sort of stands out to me is the notion of their color. So I'm wondering if it may be some sort of indication of an order of colors, of something that's got to happen in a certain way, or So I don't know if that rings any bell for anybody else, but radish is red, carrot is orange, broccoli is green, lemon is yellow, an onion, I guess, is white. Colors of parsnip.
White.
Wait.
White. Am I right in thinking that an onion is right? Maybe the onion is supposed to be green?
Well, maybe it's purple.
Red, white, orange, green, yellow, and then something else. In any case,
Something else. I love it.
You know, maybe we just need to make a soup.
Oh. It's the ingredients for a hero's feast.
that's right.
Okay. Yeah, and so with this insight, yeah, the other three of you are like, oh wow, we wouldn't have thought about that. Issa, you're actually really impressed with this. I don't want to put thoughts into your mind, of course, but this would be impressive that this is a really highly intuitive thing to figure out. And you have not known the Karevi, although they're known to be having guile and having certain deceptive abilities that would make them intelligent. Doing this type of study is definitely, it marks this man is a lot more intelligent than his peers. It puts him a cut above. And I don't mean that insultingly to anyone or anything, just it's something of note that he's intelligent.
Yeah, she's noticing Kaywin.
Kaylin is just like,
yeah.
Yes.
It's one of the best ways to tease Kaylin is compliment him.
I love it. Excellent. So, yes, so you have this information. You have the fact that the man has a dagger. Does anybody have any sort of identification abilities for magic items or anything like that?
I don't
identify spell
magic. I
basically,
could do the spell magic on it, but I don't think that would get it.
Yeah, I didn't take any. I didn't take detect magic or
That's
anything
okay.
like that.
I'll say from the fact that you witnessed the man attack the guardswoman with it, Racket, that you did notice that she died. Well, didn't die. She was dying pretty much almost instantly. I mean, it definitely had some power to it. So maybe there's something more to it. Maybe it's got magical capabilities as well. I mean, you're not sure. It does have a slight glow to it. So.
Oh, it has a slight glow to it, does it?
Yeah, before it was catching the moonlight, and now that you're actually looking at it here inside the room, you see that it actually has a slight glow to it. So
then Pem is like mesmerized, but didn't hear a damn thing that was said. It was
okay.
just...
okay. Otherwise, he would have perked right up at the mention of carrots, I'm sure. But...
Oh yeah, there's an ear one.
It's all good.
Cool. So it's glowing. That's cool.
All right. So first of all, I think, and I'm pointedly looking at Pam and only just a little bit at Racket, I think that it is important for us from this point moving forward to be as discreet as possible, and not to rush off to bring attention to ourselves, and that includes approaching guards with questions, following strangers in the crowd. And I'm not reprimanding anyone. I'm simply saying that we got lucky so far. Like, I think we kind of managed to squeeze out of that one. But since we are trying to do something that Our Lady here has indicated may not be well received by the people, and we've just seen what their attitude is already towards strangers and their ideas of law and order, perhaps it is best to assume that we don't know how people are going to react to things, and so the less we force them to react to things, the better off we are.
Right.
I also think that we should probably move quickly, because if there is one person here from this obsidian or whatever that is here possibly tied into this, I don't think we should wait too long. So my suggestion, and my lady, if this seems sensible to you, of course, I don't wish to impose anything upon you, but my suggestion would be that as soon as the night cycle comes in, we go out to the temple and try to see about how we might gain entrance to it surreptitiously and try to get this done. because I feel the longer we stay here, the more difficult it's going to become to do this task.
I think this is wise.
Yeah, okay. Great idea. Good job, Kevin. He's gonna put the dagger away and then start taking off his clothes.
Okay.
Just a minute. Sorry. We don't need to turn or anything. It's not embarrassing.
For you. No.
He's gonna get out his disguise kit
Oh, okay. I see what's going on now. Okay. All right.
and try to make himself
how you
look
trying to
like
describe yourself?
as a child.
With big ears.
Well, the ears are gonna be tied back.
Okay. Okay.
Tied
So
down.
you have a disguise kit, you said.
Yeah.
Let's have you go ahead and make, I believe for a disguise kit, the check you make is a charisma roll. Is that correct? Correct me if I'm wrong on that, gang.
Performance, maybe?
That makes sense, and which is based on charisma. Yeah, you have performance proficiency?
I do not.
But you have the tool.
So you
have
get
the
his proficiency
toolkit,
bonus
right?
either
You
way.
can
Yeah,
use-
I just didn't know if I was going to let him stack it if he had proficiency.
Yeah, I have the tool.
So yeah, so let's just go ahead and let's make a charisma roll. Well, charisma plus your proficiency
Okay.
to see how good this disguise is. And if I'm mistaken on that ruling, of course, we can retroactively change
Yeah, it's
that.
perfectly fine. It's
I mean,
just keep it rolling.
nat 20.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so he starts putting, he ties his ears back. He puts a little different hat on that he has, a little
nice.
wig kind of sticking out of the bottom of it. Yeah, he puts this weird clay on his face to hide all the hair. He's got a different set of clothes. He turns his clothes inside out basically when he puts them back on. He looks like an urchin of some sort. And yeah, when he turns around, it is bizarrely shocking. Whereas Pem was just standing there, now you see a human child. He wasn't ready to do a Willoy disguise, I will say, even though it's a nat 20. I think this is the disguise that you had in place before you came here. So
It's my go-to.
yeah, he looks like a human child, and it is spot on. Like, if you did not know it was Pim, you would not know it was Pim. He is like, it's 100% legit.
Hello, everyone.
The only thing that gives it away, because you guys are here in the light of the room with the candles going, is that the eyes, he still has these rabbit eyes, but out in the dark of the night, maybe it will not be noticeable.
You always find ways to amaze me, Pem.
You know, this is exactly like the time with the banker. Remember?
Oh, I have something for you. Hold on. I'm going to go to my bag. I'm going to root through my bag and I'm going to pull something out of it and I'm going to say, remember, or I'm going to say, what do you think Kaywin would think of you doing this? And then I'm going to turn around and I have this most horrible, banged up, destroyed doll you've ever seen in your life. This thing looks like it's been through hell and back. And I will give you this doll.
Yes.
And I will say the condition for it to speak
What?
is it as if I don't know what the condition would be, but basically it's going to basically say, and because I can teach the doll to say something, and the doll is going to tell them occasionally, what do you think Kaywin would think of what you're doing?
I love it.
And so I give him the doll here. It'll make you look so pitiful, and no one will focus on you because they'll just be staring at this creepy ass doll.
Right.
Yes, so you take this doll, and yeah, it's this really banged up, disgusting looking doll. It looks like it, like Kaywin is saying, it's seen some stuff. The only thing the only marking on it is you see there's a little tag on the butt of it that says it's made by someone named Blinsky. You're not sure what that's all about, but yeah, but you tuck it in, so now your disguise is completely full. You are ready to be masquerading as this. So what do you guys all do? Do you guys all make straight away then? I mean, at this point, studying, getting, getting to wind down, you guys took a short rest. If you need to have any sort of abilities recharged or anything like that, if you want to use hit dice, you can. Otherwise, you don't have to. I don't think anybody took really any damage except for Racket.
Can I do two things? One, I would have checked. I didn't think of it earlier. I would check if Racket needed healing.
It's just 2 points. I'm fine. I'm sorry about running off. I was hoping that if I could intercept, they would be endeared by us. I don't know if...
Yeah, no, it's okay. I think you made the right decision. I'm not at all worried by that.
And I got a glowing dagger out of it, so it's cool.
How does it work to change a spell that you've learned?
You are a cleric, correct? So you'd have to re-prepare it, is what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
I believe you have to do that through a long rest when you prepare your spells in general. You have to do them all. Unless you're a wizard, you can kind of change some of that stuff, but...
Oh, I'm a wizard, just not at this.
Right. I see. So unfortunately you can't really do
I'm
that.
a pinball wizard.
There has to be a catch. But... All right, so you guys are ready. So, again, we will cut to a short time later. You guys will all be back outside making your way towards the tower. Per your plan that you all had, you guys waited until the full night was over, so now it is dark. The moonlight is not nearly as bright out here at this point. There is a deeper dark that roots across the land. There is some light still off of the snow on the ground and on the buildings and things like that kind of innate permeation of light that kind of always comes off of the snow. So there's a little bit of light you guys can see, but it's not bright like the main nighttime would be. So you all make your way towards that tower, and as you all make your way forward, you all notice inherently, again, something strange. There's no guards women about. No one's guarding the tower. It seems that now that things are closed up, it's seemingly just okay to leave on its own. Whether or not that's something to be alarming, you're not entirely sure, but that's something that you know.
That makes me nervous.
Let's hope it's not because they know something we don't.
Oh, yes. So you guys approach. How do you approach? You go to the front door? You guys looking for a side door? How was your plan here? What did you have in mind?
Do we have a plan? My plan, I think, would be maybe to kind of maybe split up and do kind of a circle around it and kind of see, just try to get different angles and kind of see what the various, as much as I'm loath to say it, this is really Pem and Racket's bread and butter much more than mine, and I assume Issa, unless Issa's...
Yeah, no, you would definitely... I feel like Issa would have made it known to you guys that her experience in the field is minimal to none, and she's really a books girl. Like, she sits in a tower and studies, and she knows a lot, but she's not very street smart.
Yes, so this woman is very close.
Can we maybe do a thing where we'll stay somewhere behind me and her, and the other two can go and check it out? Maybe, I don't know if you have message the spells, so you can stay in contact with them, and we'll let the two specialists kind of go take a walk around and just kind of take a look at where there are guards, possible points of entry.
Sure.
Anything that kind of sticks out.
Yeah, if that's fine with the group. I'm fine with whatever you guys want to play.
Yeah, it's just a suggestion. I don't want to be...
Kevin, did they take the body into the tower?
They did take the body into the tower, but again, you could tell the way they took it, it wasn't like, oh, we need to go figure. It was just like,
no,
okay.
It's okay. That's okay. Something really bad's going to happen.
Oh, no. Okay. Good. Okay. Now I'm concerned.
So, like, we'll agree, but Pem has got kind of this glint in his eye that if the other two saw, they'd both be like, whoa,
oh, no. Oh,
but
no.
I think there's a difference between the tower and where we're going, right? The tower where the guards were, and
the vaulted area that you guys are seeking is actually beneath the tower. It's like in the basement, I guess you could say.
So Pem is like, yeah, let's go find Racket. You go that way, I'll go this way. Let's look for a back door.
Okay. So we're gonna have Issa and Issa and Kaywin are going to go off to the side. You guys are kind of off down an alleyway, I guess you could say, nearby the tower. Again, there's no guards people around. At this time of night, there's nobody out and about, no merchants or anything like that. The other two of you go right ahead and you start going up forward. As you start to look around, can we both of you please make perception tests?
All right.
Since you're actively trying to find things out.
I got an 8.
8, okay.
19.
19. The two of you take some time, we'll say a good half hour, 40 minutes roughly, to go around, really scope everything out, get an idea of what you're dealing with. And as you both go around the building, you notice, Bracket, something very strange about the exterior of the tower. It is octagonal in shape, and you go and you're being stealthy and you're moving against the wall, and you turn and you go and you're moving stealthy against the wall, and you turn and you're moving stealth. Wait a minute. I did this wall before. So you kind of back up and you look back around the wall. It's like the tower is moving and shifting. So you can't see anything except the same wall that you're going around and going around and going around. But Pem, your little childlike form starts going around the wall. And as you go around the wall, you get about 4 sides across the wall. So this would be like where you guys were going up to the front. This would be the direct back side. And what you do is you actually find that as the walls seem to be the same, suddenly this wall is different. On this wall, instead of that stone and metal exterior that you were seeing on everything, there was actually a strange doorway here. It is up above the ground. It'd basically be like the height of like a regular-sized humanoid person could go through, so it towers over you. But it is a tall, semicircular doorway that has different panels on it that have, you can see, arcane runes carved within them. There was a slight purplish blue energy that is floating about in the runes as well. And as the doorway, you see it and you make, I don't want to say contact with it, as you come across the doorway, it's a better way to phrase it, you will look back to where the others are, and when you look back, all you see is the black of night. It's like the city itself has fallen away, almost. And you glance back to the door, you see the runes begin to shift and change, and almost seem to welcome you within.
Okay.
Those of you who are watching, again, Racket, you're moving around the building. You don't see anything. And the two of you in your vantage point of hiding, watching the two of them, you see Racket go around the building like 4 times. Pem does once. And then you see Racket continue to go around the building another time or 2. And no more Pem. Strange. Let's go ahead and take a break, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
On that note.
Like, I was just gonna say, damn it, Pem's broken the building.
I mean, Pim hasn't even done his thing yet.
That's it. So we will go ahead. We'll take a step back out of the eternal night. Let's please all step back into our nice brightly lit homes where we are safe. And let's go take about 5 minutes or so. Take a quick bathroom break. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and please join us back in because we're going to see what's going on with this.
Hey,
weird
Bodega,
door.
thank you for the gift subs.
Oh,
We
gift
appreciate
subs.
it
I love
very
hearing
much.
that.
Thank you very
Awesome.
much. A whole bunch of
Bod!
gift subs.
Hi, Bod!
Beautiful,
buddy.
beautiful. Very cool, awesome. Well, cool. All right, we'll check you back on that positive note in just a few moments. Thank you. Welcome back. Here we are, part two of the Mage Discordance. I want to say thanks to everybody who's still in the chat, who's hanging out. I see you all out there. This is awesome. Glad to see some faces in there. See some creeples hanging around too. So thank you all for hanging out. Good stuff. So, yeah. So real quick, the party has followed leads, and they have found themselves on the island of New in the Mageocracy of New. Very original. Willows. No, I'm just kidding. And they are going to try to make their way into a mysterious vault that is beneath the Tower of Arcane Sciences, and what they're going to do is try to find the astrolabe, an artifact that might be able to aid in a coming battle with a dark force, as it were. Specifically, right when we left, there was a moment when our two more stealthy characters of the party, Racket, who is a mercenary, and Pem, who is in fact a rogue, a treasure hound, actually, one who is specialized in hunting out treasures and finding hidden things. They were circling this tower, trying to find a way in. Racket was having all kinds of no luck. Pem, however, found a weird, very noticeable door, a semicircular door with an actual circular type of appendage in the center of it that has runes cast all about it. Seems to have a mixture of both arcane protections as well as mechanical protections. You would notice Pem standing there in front of this massive door. The door itself, these runes are laced with a slight purplish blue arcane energy that's barely glowing, and as you approach, it starts to pulse a little bit brighter. You look to where your companions might be on either side, and this large doorway is actually alone in the dark. You look to the right, you look to the left where your companions would be, and instead of seeing where they were hiding in nearby, you actually see ongoing dark, as if you've been actually pulled out of near somehow. And we'll pick right back up with the three companions. After some time, Racket, basically going around this building around and around and around and around, you could tell, I mean, you're a smart person. You've seen a lot in your time as a mercenary. The mages have done something in this building. Clearly, they've obscured it, so you and Pam are not going to find the doorway. You're not going to find the inside. Okay, whatever. So you actually kind of stop and maybe wait for Pam, and after a time, he doesn't come around the building.
I'll do at least one circuit the opposite way to see if I can't find him that way, and otherwise
Sure.
I'll start kicking rocks and be like, God damn it, not again.
Yeah. Okay.
Him showing me up, God, that kind of stuff.
Sure. So you're walking around looking for Pem specifically?
Yeah.
Okay. As you're walking around, make a perception test for me, please.
Ooh, that's much better. 21.
21. As you're walking around the building, the opposite direction, looking for Pem, that thought of looking for the doorway out of your mind at this point. As you walk around, you get one wall, 2, 3, 4 walls, and you go to turn to the fifth wall, which is now the back of the building. And as you step around the corner, there's Pem in his little boy human disguise, staring up at this very large, illustrious door. As I previously described, it looks exactly the same to you. It's an amalgamation of arcane magics as well as a mechanical lock in the center of it. There are strange bluish purple light that, as you step forward, glow a little bit more of a bluish green type of color, a sea foam, as it were. You look back to see, whoa, how did I turn different? And when you look back, you just see black. It's almost as if you and Pam in this door are isolated from everything else around you. But you found him.
Yeah. I found
Racket.
you. I ran around the other side of the building a few times, but I couldn't. What did you find? Where are we still in New or?
Oh, it's one of those mage things, you know.
Okay.
Not that I've broken into very many mage towers, but I just assume they're all the same. So this is garbage. I'm not walking through that. Just give me a sec.
Okay.
Okay, lazy bones, get up and let me in. And he uses laboring dead on the corpse inside the tower.
Okay. In another section of the building that that the players would not see, but because we, the audience, the viewers, you at home in the chat channel, see all and hear all, inside the building there is a dark room. Incinerator of sorts is against one wall, magically fueled and powered, and there is a Willoy guardswoman in this room who is actually picking up refuse and throwing it into this arcane incinerator. And as she's doing so, there is a bundle that is on the ground behind her, long, maybe about 6 feet or so, with a draped curtain blanket type of apparatus over the top of it. And as she's moving, we will see an arm slither out from beneath, reach forward and grab a hold of this blanket and pull it away. The man who just a few moments ago tried to kill one of the guards women here and break his way into the interior of the tower is revealed beneath. His eyes flicker open and he slowly sits up. The willow woman is continuing to throw things, and she does a double take seeing him there, and she just in shock looks on. Her eyes go wide. They're amethyst hue just flickering in the light of the fire of the incinerator behind her, and she watches as this man slowly stands up. There's a rictus snapping through his back as he stands, and then he just stops, slowly turns towards the door of the room, and without giving her any sort of attention, begins to shamble towards that doorway, walking on unsteady feet. Pam, outside, it worked. You're not sure how long it's going to take him, but...
Yeah, I know. He just kind of like sits down with the doll, presses it. What would Kaylin do? It's kind of funny, isn't it?
And Rocket, you have no idea what he just did. You're kind of like, what?
Were you calling me lazy bones?
Oh, no. Well, that would be mean. You're not lazy.
Well, thank you, I think.
Elsewhere, crouched in the dark, the two opposing figures of a same dichotomous coin, a Willoy sorceress of ice magic and a Karevi cleric of retribution and redemption, a knight hospitalier who is trying to find his way in the world, sit hunched together. And what do the two of you do in this moment? You realize your companions have been gone for a really long time, almost an hour now, and you've actually noticed in just the past few moments, Kaywin, because it was your turn to like actively watch while Issa was looking around to make sure what was going on, that they're no longer circling the building.
I don't know whether to be concerned or relieved.
You're gonna see Issa kind of mumbling in incantation as she's pointing towards where she last saw Pim, who was the first to disappear. And she pulls from a pocket at her waist a small piece of copper wire that she's holding and rubbing as she is speaking this incantation. She's going to cast message. And Pem, in your mind, you hear the voice of Issa say, "Have you gotten inside? Have you made it in? Is everything safe?"
Amazing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What'd you say?
Is everything safe? Are you okay?
Oh yeah, Ratchet and I are fine. We're waiting on Lazy Bones to open the door.
Wonderful. We'll be here. Just give us a sign when you're ready.
Oh, okay. I think so. All right, yeah.
Or do you think?
She looks over to Kaywin and kind of laughs to herself. No, they've made it inside, I believe. We're just waiting.
Incredible. Well, you know, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Unless it's digital.
Speaking of clock, I pull out my little, I have a little item. It's a little clock thing that tells me what time of day it is, no matter how dark or light it is. I take a look at it. And I've been gone for about an hour. Are they going to signal or come and get us, or what's the deal?
I asked them to signal us. I'm sure we'll recognize it. They're quite obvious, the two of them.
But are we going to know where to go?
I'm not sure.
Over on the other side of the building, Bracket, it's been some moments, you're not really sure, but it looks like Pam is just sitting there waiting for something. You look towards this doorway, this strange archway, a large gear of sorts that's built into the side of the door here. Again, you notice that there's a lot of mechanical bits and baubles. As you step closer, you see the door more as a bunch of different levers and different turning gears and pieces that can move hinges and things like this nature. Pam, you sit there and it looks like this big door, lots of little magical bits and baubles in it. Maybe some treasures could be found beyond. And yeah, the two of you sit. The person you called has not arrived yet, Pam. You're not sure what's up with that, but
I mean, sometimes it takes him longer than others. You know, maybe they already. Nah, they didn't already destroy him.
Mm,
It wouldn't have worked. I know it worked. I can feel him.
who?
Oh, Lazy Bones.
I don't know if I know who Lazy Bones is. Are they gonna be
Oh.
coming out this door?
That's my hope. You met him. The guy before.
The guy you killed?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a zombie now. Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
I mean, he's supposed to open the door, but I don't know. I haven't felt him like get destroyed or anything, so maybe it's just a long way. I mean, you can try to open it if you want. I could. You know what? Let's try to open it. I'm getting bored.
Okay.
Issa and Kaywin, your companions have still not come back. It's been another 15 minutes or so.
Issa is going to go through the whole same motions again, cast message again, and again, Pem, you hear Issa's voice come into your mind. Are you ready for us now? Can we come to you?
Oh, no. My lazy bones is taking too long. Ratchet and I are just gonna crack this open and then come get you.
Very well
Yes.
then.
Technically, we can't see you from where we're at.
I thought maybe not, seeing that we can't see you.
And we can't really even see anything. But yeah, well, hey Ratchet,
Mm-hmm.
you got your
The smoke
horn,
kind of
right?
fades as he's talking to the dragon.
Hey Ratchet, you got your horn, right?
Yeah.
So once we get inside, just blow it, and that's the signal.
Okay. This isn't the front door though. How will they get to this door?
I think all the doors go in the same place.
Oh, okay. You know better than me.
I mean,
Okay.
I've never broken into a mage's tower before. It's not like I practice.
So you
Very
guys
much.
said you wanted to try to break into the door. You were getting a bit bored. So how do you want to try to do that?
Is there a lock I can see?
Yeah, right in the center, there is a really large lock. It actually, as you step a little bit closer, what you can see is that it looks like one big giant lock, like one big giant keyhole. But as you move closer, you'll actually see that the key slot, I guess you could say that a key would go in, is actually an opening that has 4 different locks within it, like a little keyhole within it.
Oh shit! This looks fun.
Very elaborate, yeah.
Thieves' tools come out. Let's get to picking.
Okay. Go ahead and make a dexterity check for me, please. You're going to get a proficiency bonus included with that because you are proficient with thieving tools, obviously.
Oh yeah. So it's a 22.
Okay. You put your lockpicks into the first tumbler and you go to work, and without any sort of problem at all, you can feel the tumblers, you move and click and whir, and you'll see Racket from standing looking over his shoulder. You'll see that actually he does this, and as he twists that lock, the outside gear type looking section rotates counterclockwise, and you see as it turns that there are other teeth behind it of other gears that stay stationary as it turns. It turns about, say, 3/4 of the way, and one of the runes goes away. Like it's still there, just no longer lit, I should say.
All right, just do that a couple more times.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and make another check.
Even higher, so 29.
Okay. And he goes to work on the next one. And as he's going to work on it, again, it's the same thing. That one in the front stays stationary. The one behind it clicks the other direction, so clockwise in this point, until eventually it clicks into place, and the other rune on the top goes away as well. So the two top of the 4 panels, the 2 top ones, the light has blinked out at this point. And he goes to work on the next one. The other 2 of you still waiting out into the dark, you'll see that suddenly, you'll hear rather, that suddenly there is some noise coming from the direction of the tower. It almost sounds like people yelling, but you're not really sure what they'd be yelling of. And then the door opens, and as the door opens, you see a figure slowly walk out in that way that kind of like, it's early morning and you're not quite awake yet and you're kind of stumbling through the house. This figure is just kind of moving and shambling. You see that there is a singe mark across one of his cheeks. You see that there is a slice across his chest. And you notice it probably first, Kaywin, being one who commands the divine arts. This is a risen dead. This is a zombified person. This is the man that Pem killed, the man who attacked the guards. And he stumbles out the front. And as he does, one of the guards women comes out behind him and slices through his back with a longsword. Not one of the stabs, you notice. Slices at him with the longsword, and he doesn't even flinch. And he just takes about 3 more steps towards you and Issa and stops. And then turns and starts making his way around the outside of the building. Like he's moving back around the building. The guardswoman is looking around. You see she's looking at the long sword, like maybe she's looking at like, did I not use it right? Kind of look on her face. And the 2 of you are out there and a bit confused.
This is
So
literally...
is the front door just like wide open?
The front door is wide open.
Very quickly,
Yeah.
Issa is going to go through her pack of things, and she's gonna pull out a scroll she has on her,
Oh, okay.
and she's gonna start reading from the scroll. And as she does, she is casting Charm Person on this guard.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, what is the save she has to make for that?
A DC 13.
Wisdom?
Yes, I believe that's a wisdom.
Okay. She is going to get a 12.
Oops.
So it works.
Beautiful.
Yeah, she watches the guy. She's looking at the long sword, and you start to mutter your incantation, and she looks up like she heard you talking, and when she makes eye contact with it, you finish the gesturing, and you guys see that the glowing of her eyes, because Willoy have that natural glowing of their eyes, her eyes, and then they kind of get dull. They're still glowing like they do, and she just looks at you, Issa, and, are you okay out there? Hurry, before this man hurts you. Come on.
Yes,
She
of
made
course.
you
And she's gonna stand up and tug Kaywin along.
Okay, when you're just staring at the dead guy walking away by
You don't know how you know, but you know Pem did this. You don't know how, but you know. And Issa grabs you, kind of pulls you away from looking at the dead guy. You go over to the guardswoman. She goes, hurry, get inside. It's not safe out here. Come on, let's go. And she starts moving to lead you guys in towards the front door.
I hope the doll is talking to Pem as we speak.
We come back to Pem, who is picking at the fourth lock. There is another set of the runes that are not lit. He's picking at that final lock. And please go ahead and roll a dexterity check, using your proficiency modifier, of course.
27.
27. And right as he's getting the last tumbler in place, Racket, you're standing there. Racket, you're actually holding the doll because he kind of shoved it into your hands. And in your hand, suddenly the doll goes, what's it say?
Oh, What
it's
do
your
you
voice.
think
I assume.
K-Win would think of what you're doing right now?
And the rest of the gears, and as that gear finishes turning, that big giant gear rolls down into the ground, and behind it there is a doorway that opens up, and beyond you can see there's a chamber. Again, there's lights and stuff in here, and right as you're noticing this, Racket, you hear something coming up to the side. You look over and you see the man that Pem killed about 2 hours or so ago walking up, and he gets about 5 feet from you and he stops. You see he's holding what can best be described as a table leg in one hand. It's got maybe some we'll say blood on it. Maybe he's brained somebody on the way out, who knows. And he stands there and he looks at Pem.
Oh, there you are, Lazy Bones.
How does Lazy Bones smell? He
Well,
hasn't been dead
he's-
long, but
He's only been dead, yeah, we'll say he's been dead about 2 hours, so smells normal, smells like a regular person.
Okay, Lazy Bones, come here. You're gonna go first just in case there's traps.
Lazy Bones, as we're calling him, he steps past you. He takes that table leg. He just drops it. There's a as it clutters on the ground, and he walks into the chamber beyond. As he walks into the chamber, the other two of you see this large, opulent, domed room. There is a constellation type of fresco upon the ceiling. In the center of it, a very large eclipsed moon. An eclipsed sun that is beginning to have its brightness dim and not burn as brightly as it should. In amongst the constellations, kind of highlighted behind them, almost like shadows, you see that there are celestial type forms on one side and demonic type forms on the other. They are coming in towards the center, an eternal celestial war that is waged above you all, even now. Everyone knows of the celestial war. It's no strange, unknown knowledge that when Loun's downfall came, it was because of coups staged within the celestial war. And there are different lights around the room as well. There are 6 alcoves, 3 on either side, and in each of these alcoves, glowing lights that are all different colors that sparkle and scintillate in the room, almost like stars that have been pulled down out of the heavens to light this room specifically for your entryway. And as Lazy Bones steps into the room, he takes about 3 steps, and on the 3rd step, you see his form just vaporize. Just all of his skin just blows off of his body. It turns into a weird ash as it flies back, and sifting out of the room on a very slight breeze, ash of Lazy Bones just flutters across you, Pem, as you stand there looking wide-eyed, those large black rabbit eyes lit by the faint blue lights, the scintillating colors of the alcoves beyond.
I would say that's a trap.
Issa and Kaywin, you guys both get into the front room, and you see it is basically it's like a front main level, like a foyer as it were, and you can see that there are different lights and stuff. It's well lit in here, even though it's in the middle of nighttime. And you can see that there are 2 Willoy guardswomen who are standing near a door off to the side, a curtained door. And you can see that they're looking at the 2 of you, and when they see you enter, wait, what are you doing here? They say, looking to the 2 of you. That guardswoman who came in with you guys looks at them. They need protection. Please see that they're okay. I'm gonna make a roll for her real quick. Okay. She's gonna roll a 15 plus 2, a 17 on a persuasion roll. They go, yes, right away, of course. And they both come up to the 2 of you, and they flank you on either side. And the guardswoman, wait here, you'll be safe. And she goes, and she looks to these other 2, keep them safe. And she just gives you a nod, Issa. And she turns and she sprints out the front door to go conquer that undead creature that was walking the land.
I'm kind of hiding behind Issa, just sort of like.
Okay.
I am just keeping it together. Like, I know what the hell's going on, but I have no idea.
Absolutely. Go ahead, just real quick to make sure we're okay. Let's have both of you make deception or performance. I'll let you decide how you want to dally that out. I mean, I know it's both charisma based, so that's why it doesn't really particularly matter. But let's see what you guys get for that. To keep your cool, to stay in character.
Dirty 20.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to do
stone-faced.
Stone-faced. It's a 16 plus my persuasion is 6, so 22.
Wow, yes. The two of you, you definitely give off that air of, yes, we're supposed to be here. This is what's supposed to be going on. The two guards women, they just look to you. You will be safe here, don't worry.
I'll pipe up, I'll say. I believe the creature we saw was risen from the dead. I am a priest. I believe I might be able to assist in its destruction if you would be so kind as to escort us so that we and to protect us. I might be able to do something about the creature.
Make a persuasion roll, please.
14 plus the 6 is a dirty 20.
Wow, that plus 6, that's amazing.
Yeah, no.
They look
Karevi. What do you want me to tell you?
That's what the Karevi do.
I feel bad every time I use it. I like cringe inside, but
Yes.
Damn
Just
it.
bring your
with
shadow.
your barbed wire.
My
later.
deception is plus 6 also, so one or the other.
Okay. I love it. They look to you, and you can tell that they're a bit uneasy because they were given orders by a guardswoman who is superior to them. But after a moment, they just, yes, this thing should be destroyed. Let's go. And they go to walk you guys towards the front door.
And as we're moving towards that, I'm gonna whisper to Issa. Once we get there, I have no clue what to do with these two, so
As we're moving,
Yes.
Issa's going to stop and look to the two guard women and say, I feel as though perhaps you should stay back, though. I know he asked for your protection, but my slave is
They
quite...
both nod like, yes.
Yeah,
we understand.
yes. My slave is quite skilled in this, and me being his handler should go along, but I worry for your safety. We should go on our own to protect your fellow guards, woman.
Issa, please make a persuasion roll. I'm going to give you advantage because you are Malloy, and so there's already an inherent trust.
That's great, because I have a +7 to persuasion.
Oh, charisma's hell, these two. I love it.
I can give you guidance on
That's
top
a
of that.
25. No, I don't need it.
I love how we have the two party stirs outside messing around with the dead guy. We got these two sexy folk in here just beguiling everybody. I love it.
Yield,
Yes.
razzle dazzle.
That's it. That's exactly it. They look to you, and without hesitation, of course, and they move back to that curtained room, that curtained doorway. You're not sure what it leads to. You probably don't care at this point. And
Nope.
the two of you go back outside.
Mm-hmm.
As you go, you guys go back outside. So we cut back over to Pam. You're standing there with Racket.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, yeah, please, yeah.
As we head outside, I'd be like, who knew we just had to talk our way in?
Absolutely. It's so easy now. What were we doing? Yeah.
The hell were we thinking?
The gift of gab.
That's it. Absolutely. I love it. So Pam, you just saw your undead guy get vaporized, and Racket, you're standing there as well, like,
Did we see what vaporized him?
it just, as he walked into the room, he just vaporized.
Oh.
It's not a good sign.
Here, Racket, give me the doll.
Happily. This thing's creepy.
Forgive me. Throws the doll out into the room.
You throw the doll, this little ratcheted up, nasty doll. It flies into the room, and as it soars through the room, it's all weird, disgusting, desiccated form. Just kind of plop, lands on the ground. Nothing happens to it.
Oh, okay. He just walked up to retrieve it.
Okay. You walk within, as you walk within, you see that the colors of the different alcoves begin to flicker a little bit brightly, almost reacting to your proximity. You see that really large constellation type apparatus that is up on that fresco starts to turn, different astrolabe type of gears moving and spinning in around each other. And you see that as this happens, there is a pedestal that raises up out of the floor. And on the base of this pedestal is an astrolabe. You've seen an astrolabe before, so you know what it is. It comes up out of the ground. It's sitting on like a pillowed type of mat, I guess you could say, that's on top of this column that rises up out of the ground. It's made out of platinum. There are some purple and amethyst jewels that are embedded in certain parts of it. You can see it's got very fine script upon the different digits on the side where the scale would be. And it definitely... I mean, this has got to be it. This thing is beautifully crafted. It looks amazing. There is a strange shimmer to it as it catches the light of the alcoves that are flickering.
Hey, Ratchet.
I'm still outside. I'm like,
Yeah. What do you do, Racket?
I'm very afraid. This seems too easy, but also, should I go get Kaywin and Masisa, or are you fine?
Can you see them?
No. Okay. I'll slowly follow in after.
Just tell me if I'm seeing stuff. Is that it?
Does it look like it? It does.
It looks like an astrolabe made out of platinum, yeah.
More or less. We can't just grab it, can we?
I mean, wait a minute. I got an idea. He picks up the doll, walks over to it. And he takes it off and puts the doll on the doll.
Okay.
Not my doll.
You reach forward and you go to swipe them. Make a dexterity check,
Classic.
please. As you pull this Raiders of the Lost Ark moment for us.
What
Can
do
I
you
use
think
my-
Kaywin would think about what
Or
you
actually,
are
Dex.
doing?
Never mind, Dex. Oh, yeah. That's a 27.
27. You flip
Natural
them.
19.
It's just momentaneous. There's momentaneous. I think it might be a word we made up here in the Eternal Night tonight. It's just a moment. It's like there's not. It's just an instant. You switch them real quick. And yes, the doll does in fact, in this weird distorted voice, say, "What would Kaylin think right now?" And you hold the astrolabe. You look down to it. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no, that's not good.
That's
It's not
not
going to be
good.
that easy. I'm sorry.
The back of your mind, you hear Kalima.
Yes.
Kalima.
That's okay. It's okay. With a
Atu Verata.
with a modifier of 0,
Oh.
that's an 18.
Oh, okay. There is something that slithers over your mind, almost like somebody drawing a silk handkerchief across your head. A chill goes up your spine despite yourself, but nothing seems to happen to you.
Holy shit, I think I got it.
As he turns around to say that to you, Racket, you see that there is that celestial fresco that we mentioned. Just below it, you see that there are suddenly 2 purple pinpoints that appear. And then part of the wall starts to slide and move and distend away. And what you see is a nearly 10-foot tall metal behemoth of steel and platinum and some sort of unknown metal to you steps forward. And as it does, it puts its hand out, and like a spear made out of lightning, part of the gears above it rips down off and flies into its hand as lightning crackles across the finial at the top of it. There is a purple, bright amethyst color that flares to life in this thing's chest, and it simply looks at the two of you. And as you look back to the door behind you, the door you came in, you see it starts to close.
Oh,
Outside, both Issa and Kaywin, you both are making your way around the side of the building, and you get around. Now, you guys are looking for your companions, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please make perception tests. It just really needs one of you to succeed because you're doing this together. So
That's a 23 on my end.
that's already enough because we know 21. The other two happen to both get 21, which I thought was very interesting. We know 23 will work then.
That's
guys
fine.
turn.
I'm just still going like, fuck, I can't believe it. All we have to do is talk our way in. When has that ever worked before?
And as the two of you turn, you see this door starting to shut. Issa and Kaywin, right as you turn to see this doorway open, you look within, you see the door starting to close, and you see your companions within, much too far away to make the doorway. What do you do? What do the two of you do?
Huh. I will. I will. Hold on, give me a second, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have two spells that sound like they should do something, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to read their description and realize they don't actually do at all what I expect them to do.
While you're looking at that, what do you have for us, Creep?
Do I see the Willoy woman that I charmed?
No.
Okay. She's fast. Shit.
So, like, how far are we talking?
You would guess that the distance, Racket is probably 50 feet from you and Pem is probably 70 feet from you. They're fully inside this room. And you have just a second to react.
Yeah, hold on. I just want to read the second spell.
Sure.
The other one's not a spell. It's a class. It's a.
Damn it, I was hoping for a boulder.
Racket, what's flying through your mind in this moment as you watch that door slowly shutting? What sort of thoughts do you have? What job does this remind you of in the past that went bad like this before? It could be a job that wasn't with these other two. Tell us a little bit of a story here.
Well, first of all, the thoughts when he turns around and he sees the doors closing, and then he sees like two heads pop in, and just like, oh God, what would Kaywin do? But I feel like even without Pem, Racket has gotten into troubles just either like really believing or having way too much confidence, and then just it ended up being in a 5v1 situation, or he has gotten the shit kicked out of him on a couple occasions.
Of course.
Not every mission ends up positively, but this one, I think I think it was partially like an infiltration into a different mercenary kind of group, and Kaywin would be outside and just making eye contact as Racket knows he's gonna get mobbed by everyone, but trying to keep Kaywin outside to keep him safe. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have blink, but it's only going to get me 10 feet.
Okay.
I thought, it would do more than that.
Issa, do you do anything in your reaction? You look around, you do not see the Willoy guardswoman who you sent out before, the one that you charmed. You don't see her.
Right. How is this door moving? Is it sliding down? Is it sliding shut?
Sure. What you can see just really quickly is it looks like there was a large circular thing that slid down, and there was two doors that were behind it that are starting to close. So what's basically going on is it looks like the two of them are going to close, leaving a circular opening, and then that circular opening is going to slide up and close. So it's like a two-step process, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Right now, the bigger doors are shutting.
I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm gonna do my best.
That's the best way to start anything. I love it. Let's hear it.
I look down in the door and I imagine I see like an open slot where that centerpiece is gonna come up and kind of click into place.
Absolutely.
And I pull my water skin out and I dump my water skin into that slot. And as I'm doing this, I am speaking an incantation, and I would like to turn that water to ice in that slot. and freeze
okay.
over that area to try and
Okay.
stop that centerpiece from lifting up into the hole.
I love that. I love that. Very cool. What spell are you going to use to do that?
That's shape water.
Shape water. Okay, cool. So that doesn't really typically do damage. That's more just
Right.
turning it around, right?
Yep.
So what level spell is that?
That's actually a cantrip.
That's a cantrip. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm going to have you roll 1d10,
1d10. Okay.
if you wouldn't mind. And go ahead and add you cast your spells based on your charisma, so please add your charisma modifier to that.
There we go. I had to figure out what my fucking d10 dice was there for a minute. Oh,
What is
wow. Holy shit, my rolls have been insane tonight, by
Hey, I
the way.
love
That's
it.
a 10 on the dice. And
alright.
my charisma modifier is a +4, so that's 14.
Very cool. And yeah, you dump your entire water skin out. You squeeze it so
Yep.
hard that the top just blows off the front of it. And as the water streaks down, you incantate and it's like ice. Your hand kind of shimmers and turns into ice for a moment, and then a snow blizzard blasts out of your palm down into the inside, and there's a and that thing that was starting to come up, you see is pinned and trapped beneath the ice. 14 is what I'm going to have it be its hit points be. There'll be a certain number of damage it'll take each round as the thing tries to move up. So 14's really good. I'll put it that way. That's really, really good. It's going to take a while for it
Best
to
I
bust.
could do.
No, that's going to take a while for it to bust
Yeah.
through that.
Good.
I love it. Yeah, so you do that. Kaywin, what do you got real quick?
I really don't have. I mean, I honestly, I don't have anything. I was going to try, but it's not going to make a difference. I was going to try thaumaturgy, which allows me to cause an unlocked door window to fly open or slam shut. But I'm assuming these doors would be way too heavy and too big for that to do anything. So I need just a quick description from you of
Sure.
where we are vis-a-vis the door, vis-a-vis where our friends are.
Absolutely. So you and Issa are standing literally just outside the door. So you're within 2 feet of it, we'll say.
Okay.
There is the doorway. It's about a 1 foot thick opening, I guess you could say. The doors on the inside are 2 large doors about 8 feet tall. They are slowly closing. They seem to be made out of some sort of dark wood. As I mentioned to Issa, as they close, there's going to be a circular opening in the center of it that would be big enough for a medium-sized creature to jump through or move through, or smaller, obviously. That will be, when they close, that opening will be there. And then typically what would happen would be in the next round, if we do this in combat rounds, that circular section would come up, and in the third round, it would lock itself all back up.
Okay.
Issa has temporarily stopped that part from coming up. So what happens is, as it's going to close, there's going to be that opening there. The 14 that she rolled is going to basically equal 7 rounds. You wouldn't know that, but out of game, I can tell you so you guys can form.
Yeah.
You're going to have 7 rounds before it breaks through that ice and starts to close again. So you're basically going to have 9 rounds until they're locked in there. So
All
almost
right,
a full minute.
So we're good to go through, basically, is what you're saying.
You could.
Well, I guess that's what I would do if I see them and I see this door is closing and Issa has managed to stop the thing. I will rush for it to go through the doors. I'm guessing jumping.
Can I try to
trying
grab
get through
him
that
as
hole.
he's doing that?
Sure, let's do this. Let's have Issa, go ahead real quick, make a dexterity save. What is your armor class, Kaywin?
17.
17, okay.
But that's with the shield.
Okay,
I
so
rolled
we're
a
already
I'm
at
five.
defending
15.
myself with the shield, so it would be 15 sounds.
And what'd you get, Issa? I'm
I
sorry.
rolled a 5.
Yeah. Issa, you see him move past, you realize what he's going to do, and as you finish the incantation, you toss your water skin aside, you reach for him, and your fingers just catch open air. Kaywin, make an athletics or an acrobatics test for me to jump through the door.
It's a 5.
Oh shit. So Kaywin, you do get through the door, but what happens is you're going to take 9 points of bludgeoning damage because as you jump through, you catch part of that circular opening and it rocks your hip. You feel something pop in your hip. It almost dislocates your leg. It hurt, but you plop on the inside. You look up, the two of you hear this, and you both look back. Racket, you're already looking in that direction. Pem, your eyes move away from the giant guardian thing to look back to see Kaywin land in a big giant heap just inside that opening. And Kaywin, as you look up to your friends, you notice this large creature is stepping out of the shadows beneath this celestial fresco thing in the air and is stepping forward. It's got this big, it looks like a halberd, basically, and it just grabs it with both hands and it starts to step towards you all.
Do you have the thing?
I mean, yeah.
So let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh,
Oh my goodness, you guys, I love it. I love it when you guys keep me guessing. Great stuff. Great stuff.
that's a 15 for me.
Okay, great. 15 for Issa. You guys can just call them out. I got your names written down here. So
23.
23 for Pam.
21. I got a nat 20. So I wasted my nat 20 on my initiative.
I got a 15 as well. I have a +4 dexterity.
Okay. Issa, what's your dexterity? It's a 3, right? Oh, 2.
Plus
okay.
2.
Okay, so yeah, Racket will go first. And let's roll for this modified shield guardian. It's gonna go with a it's got a 14. Luckily, I thought it was a 15. That's why I was like, it's got a 15 too, but I realized my math was mentally wrong. So it's gonna be Pem. You're gonna react first. So you see all this. Yeah, what do you want to do?
Well, he's gonna look up at this thing and be like, fine. You don't want the doll? And he's gonna grab the doll and throw it to Racket as he sprints.
Okay.
Enemy action dash.
Okay. So Racket, this doll comes flying towards you, and as it comes flying towards you, and Pim turns and starts sprinting towards you, you see behind him, where he pulled the doll off, that pedestal starts to slowly
No.
back down into the floor. What that's going to mean, you're not sure, but you see that happening. Kaywin, you're in a huddle, a heap just inside the door, as you see Pam gets up to where... now, do you stop? Because your speed is pretty good. You said you're dashing. Do you run past Racket?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And you look up just in time to see Pam run up and get about 10 feet away from you.
Not sure why I threw it if I was gonna run by you, but
Hey,
you know.
you know what? It looked badass. So
Sure. Yeah.
So I see that robot thing now, that shield guardian.
yeah. Oh yeah, you see it. You see it.
I'll turn
If you want to make an Arcana check to see what this creature is, you can.
Yeah, sure, please.
I know what it is. It's
Not
death.
very good. 13.
13, it's enough to know what it is. You can tell this is a shield guardian. This specifically is a type of automaton that is created to protect a spellcasting character, typically a wizard. Maybe that has a connection to the Archmage who lives in the tower above. You're not sure. Maybe it has something to do with what is here in this vault. You're not sure. But what you do know is that it has been awoken, and it's not going to stop until you all are either destroyed or its master, whoever that might be, tells it to stop. You know, with a roll that, you wouldn't know another thing I was about to tell you. So never mind. That's what you know, though. You know it's a shield guardian, and it's probably going to be pretty powerful. So.
All right. So first thing, I'm just gonna look over my shoulder until he says, "Stay outside. There's some shield guardian thing in here." And then I'm going to, while still motioning for my friends to fucking hurry up and get over here, I am going to drop spirit guardians
Yes.
right behind where Pam is, so that this thing has to kind of walk through it when it gets there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to summon these little sort of strange winged beings of darkness and light that are going to just swirl around the area. So I'm going to drop that there, and I'm just going to like keep mentioning the guys come in and taking a look at the ice to make sure that it's kind of holding up.
My legs are short. I'm going as fast as I can.
Yeah, you get to your feet, taking about half your movement. You step up. Yeah, you look back. The ice is holding. You see there's cracks that are starting to but it's holding. You can see Issa's just looking at you. She understands that you're saying, hey, don't come in here. And you turn, you gesture, you put your hands out. The small little imp-like creatures made out of shadow are dancing around each other right behind you, Racket. You have enough wherewithal, Racket, I think, to understand that this was a spell that was just cast by your companion. So you're not going to be like, oh no, I'm under attack or anything like that. You know what's going on. Racket, it is your turn. That shield guardian is about, you don't know it's a shield guardian. You know it's a
Big thing.
automaton thing, but it is about 20 feet away from you now at this point. It did its
We're
full movement just to come towards you.
are we running? Is that the vibe?
Pam has already run right past you, so he's
Cool.
pulling the thumper. He's getting right out of here. So
I think I'm gonna. I guess I'll run 30 feet and I'll turn around and I'll take a shot with my crossbow just to try and.
at the guardian,
Yeah.
Okay.
No, at Pem, please.
at Pam, sure, yeah. I'm just making sure because the ACs are different. So
You don't
Okay, yeah.
recognize him anymore. That's horrifying little child.
That's right. Oh yeah, there's a
Kill him with fire.
Oh. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Come to the corn with us.
Oh.
14 hit.
A 14.
Yeah.
Okay. You fire the crossbow, and the aim is true, but you see it as it hits into this thing's chest. It just collapses in on itself, just as it shatters and breaks and splinters into thousands of pieces. And as they fall away from this thing, you see little arcs, little motes of energy come out of that purple thing glowing in its chest and just singe it all away. Nothing hits the floor.
Good. Great. I love that.
I love that for us. That's amazing.
Yeah. Really good.
Then do you want to move?
Yeah. I'll move. I guess 30 feet towards the door.
Okay. You move to catch up to Pem, who is about, you guys are about 10 feet away from Kaywin, who's now standing. And Issa, you are outside still. Do you wish to stay there, or do you want to go inside? Do you want to do something else?
Yeah, I'm staying exactly where I am. I
Okay.
see. I assume since they're running towards us that they have what we need. And as everyone's running towards me, towards the door, I'm gonna shout to them. The door won't last forever. Hurry! And I lift my hands and I am shouting in an incantation at this point. In a language that I don't think any of you would recognize unless you speak Draconic. And I am going to cast on top of this big guy, Sleet Storm.
Oh, all right.
And you just see this massive pillar of ice fall over top of this creature and completely envelops him. And you cannot see through it. It's creating ice on the ground where he stands. I think it's 20 foot tall by 40 foot radius.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, it fills the room with a huge blizzard type effect. Chunks of hail, different icicles that pierce down out of the sky like spears thrown from some sort of celestial being from above. It slams down and buffets into this creature. What's the damage on that?
So there's actually no damage.
Oh, okay.
But he has to make a dexterity save on his turn.
Oh, okay. On his turn. Okay.
Yep.
I would like you to, though, if you could. What level spell is that? I mean, I know, but
That is a third level spell.
please roll 3d10 plus your charisma modifier for damage for that, please, because something is going on because you are a Willoy.
Okay, I love this. I love this for me. I'm just your average guy. Don't worry about it.
That's
Excuse
it.
me while I do some.
Nothing
math.
weird here,
I'm
nothing
real
weird.
bad at that too. That's 24.
Okay. 24. Yep. And yeah, you see some of these ice shards are hitting into it. Unlike the crossbow that it just shattered and obliterated, you can see that some of the ice is breaking through, slamming into it. It's not doing really any sort of damage per se, but you can see like little dents and little nicks in its outer form, its outer shell are starting to bounce and snap around. And yeah, so there's that. The Guardian is going to continue to move, and it uses its movement, which is your typical nice 40 feet of movement because it's a large.
He's gonna make a dex save.
Yes, he is. Yep.
That's a
deal?
Dex 15.
Oh, wow. Because people are not going to believe it. What's that say, y'all?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Natural
rip.
one.
So
Natural one.
he's gonna fall prone.
Okay.
Nice.
As he starts to move, and he is getting about half the distance between where he currently stands and to where, I guess, Racket would be the one probably closest to it. It's going to move out. It brings up that big halberd, like it's going to bring it down, and you know from the distance it'll reach because it's huge. And as it pulls it up, its footsteps and the ice along the floor just kicks its feet out from underneath it. This thing skitters and staggers and falls, and it slams first one knee into the floor, and it tries to put its arm out to brace itself, just reactionary. That arm slips as well, and it goes shoulder first into the floor, and there's a sound, and as it kind of rolls and moves, you see its arm is bent at a weird angle, and the halberd goes flying out of its hand and spirals and flips across the floor and it slams into the wall on the other side of the chamber. It's no longer armed. It's currently prone. Its arm is all jacked up. And Pem, top of the round. Your turn, buddy.
Yeah. Hi. Bye, Caitlin. Sure.
Make an athletics or an acrobatics test to get through the hole.
Well, my choice is plus 11 or minus 1. So.
Ooh, I wonder what you're going to do. Because you are
acrobatics.
small, you're going to get advantage because it's a bigger opening for you to get through than your companions.
Oh, good. Well, I'll keep the first one. That's a 24.
Okay. Yeah. Was that acrobatics, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah, you jump
flip.
and flip and land on the other side. Issa, you see your small companion, this little boy, flips and lands next to you. You know, ta-da, kind of landing. And he looks up
Horrifying.
at you. And in his hand is, in fact, a platinum-hewn astrolabe with amethyst gems embedded in sections of it.
I think I got it.
Well, very well. Great job. And she's just... She would reach down and pet his ears, but they are not out, and he looks like a horrifying child, and she's not touching that.
Yeah. Not touching it. Oh, absolutely. Cool. Kwin.
I am going
Let's take
to
something.
hold my main action. I want to wait for Racket to step through before I do.
Okay.
But can I take a free action even if I'm holding my action?
Yeah,
Just wanna
yeah.
say
You're gonna basically
something.
hold the standard action that you have, basically.
Just kind of on a lark, I'm going to again look towards Issa. And again, being under duress, I look at her. I don't divert my gaze. And in Draconic, because I speak Draconic, I'm going to say, order this thing to stop.
Oh, interesting.
That is interesting. Alrighty, Racket. You're pretty much standing right next to him at this point. What do you do?
All right. I can probably tell we're having hung around and worked with Kaylin enough that he's waiting for me to head out. So I'll dive out, maybe do a little roll on the other side, or land in the snow face first. I don't know.
So you're making an acrobatics test, I assume, as well?
Yeah, sure.
All right, go ahead and roll. No advantage for you because it's a medium-sized opening, so you just jump out regular. So.
I don't jump out regular. I rolled a nat 1.
Oh,
I have plus 7, so but I rolled a nat 1 jumping out.
Oh,
Very
okay.
graceful.
So you don't make the DC 10, unfortunately. So yeah, unfortunately, because it's nat 1, I got it. We got to have something happen with it. So yeah, Racket, you just give K1 a nod, like, yeah, I got you, and you go to jump, and you just face first, boom, right into the door. You slide down. Your ears kind of do a weird, like, oh.
Very much a Looney Tunes. I flatten when I run into the thing, and I bounce back out. And
Wile E. Coyote it, yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
sick.
Yeah. Okay, when you see that as Racket looks over, you can see that there's some blood coming out of the nose. Not enough to be like super injured, but it hurt.
Again, for the third or fourth time tonight, Kevin's like,
No. You guys are amazing. I love this. It's way better than what I had planned, so I love it. Issa, what do you do? So Pem is out here. You see the racket try to, because you whipped your head back to see what was going on with the other two, and you hear the boom on the side of the door. Somebody must have hit the door.
All right. Yeah. So what Kaywin says to me, speaking in Draconic, kind of takes me off guard a little bit, and I look slightly confused, but I want to try it. So I look at this big automaton with my sleet storm just buzzing all around him, and I just shout, "Stop!" at him.
Please make a persuasion roll.
Okay. Yeah. I love those.
I know you do.
That is a 21.
Okay. You yell out stop. You yell this out, and I'm assuming the Willoy native tongue.
Yeah.
Okay. So you yell out stop, and you see as the thing is trying to get its arm underneath it, and it starts to stand. It looks up, and it hears you say that, and as its eyes, these burning amethyst purple eyes, look and meet yours, it stops. Did you do anything else on your turn?
I will take my action at this point to grab Racket and throw Racket out through the hole.
Okay. Make an athletics test for me, please, Kaywin.
Oh, God, really?
It's a
Nat
DC 10
one,
to get through the
nat
portal.
All right.
Yeah, unless you're rolling that one, you guys are all pretty much going to make it. It's just...
No, I got
yeah,
all right. So I got a 13.
Okay. And Racket, yeah, you are look up at Kaywin as he looks. You both look to this automaton. You look to each other wide-eyed. He grabs you and chucks you fastball special right through the door. You go flying through. You do land on the snow right next to Pem. You don't take any damage or anything. And Kaywin, for lack of a better description, you still have another turn, but because the thing has just stopped, it sits there waiting for Issa. It just sits there staring. I'll say that you can go ahead and get out. You can either just take your time and get out, or you can make a check if you want to get out quickly.
Yeah, no, I'll take my time to get out.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
And so then you get out of there just in time for the last bits of the ice to break away. And as you get past, with the doors already being shut, you see this thing, the multiple locks that you had picked, Pem, just slowly goes up. And then there's all those clicking and whirring of the gears go in reverse order that you had all seen before, and it locks. And at that moment, you all look to each other.
You see, I told you it would work.
What do
I
you
am just-
think Kaywin would think of what you are doing?
That,
Here, yes.
yeah, that comes from Ratchet, who is face down in the snow with the doll
Yes,
underneath.
so it's exactly. And at this point, Issa, you see that there is a guardswoman who comes around the side of the building, and she sees you all standing there. How long does your charm person last?
An hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She goes around the building. You're there. Are you all right? Did you see that dead creature that came by?
Oh, it's gone.
Good.
Issa points into the distance and says, "I believe it went that way."
Right. Stay here. And she runs off into the night.
And then she snaps back to Kaywin and just like the look on her face is just dumbfounded and says to him, "How did you know it would listen to me?"
Just a wild guess. Let's start by getting out of here. Do we have the thing? Is that the thing? Are we sure that's the thing? You want to give her the thing, please? Give her the thing. Give her the thing. Give her the thing. Take that thing in your hand and give it to her.
Listen?
No, give her the thing.
I'm currently collecting like fabric into my hand, basically like the fabric of my pouch, because I'm a little I'm worried about touching it with my bare hands because I have some suspicions. And so I'm just kind of holding the pouch out to Pem. Well, down to Pem.
Just listen, Kaylin. This thing tried to get in my head. I'm not.
I know, so that's why you're gonna give it to her. Don't make me pull out the gem.
I'm not. I'm gonna.
Don't make me pull out the gem.
You don't listen.
No. Give it to her.
Hush. I got this.
Give it to her.
So, Pem, you would know what gem he's talking about. If you could, Kaywin, please inform our viewers what gem you're talking about.
I hope you and I are talking about the same gem. Because we're gonna look stupid if we're not. But yeah, I'm talking about the spell Inside Greed. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about whatever gem it is you're threatening him with.
I can do Inside Greed basically, but it requires a gem, and if I show him a gem and I do the thing, it basically can kind of enthrall him.
Absolutely, yeah.
And render him defenseless.
So
You're
real
a bunny
quick,
whisperer?
the bunny whisperer, yes. So Pem, as you remember the gem, you have a memory of the last job you guys did. The reason why you guys kind of separated, went different ways, was he used this gem to beguile your mind. He used a trick to make you think about that gem and only that gem, and so therefore what you guys were actually there to steal, he stopped you from stealing or stopped you from getting or whatever it was. You don't even really remember that now. All you remember is that this gem, pretty serious business.
Right.
So I'm not sure you want to tangle with that again.
You know, that gem is crap. You know that. It's barely a silver worth. And I was going to give it to her if you just listened, but not in her bare hands, because the thing tried to get in my head.
Okay.
So, also, ears
Impossible style.
Oh, God, it feels so much better. Oh.
He's still wearing the disguise. Now that he's wiped his face away, there's parts of the face that are still that weird clay, but there's like a hand that goes through the middle of it.
Yeah.
His ears are out, but they're still kind of semi.
It's just upsetting now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm seeing him trying to clear this, and I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation and help him out.
Okay.
Oh, I had my eye.
So you take the astrolabe? Is that what we have all decided?
I
Yeah.
just, yeah, put it
Yeah.
in her hands.
Okay.
Or in her
You
pouch.
take the astrolabe. You don't touch it with your bare hands, as you mentioned, because you are careful, thoughtful. You put a lot of thought, a lot of practice, a lot of research has led you to know that you just don't start grabbing things. You take it into your hands, and as you do, you look upon it. Again, it is clearly an astrolabe. This is clearly it. You can tell by the markings on it, the way that the scale on the side of it that has the different dimensions. It's in the ancient Willoy language. You've seen it before. You know exactly what it is. It's made out of this platinum and also a different other metal that is otherworldly to the people from near. You would recognize it, however, this certain type of metal. There's also amethyst gems that are encrusted in certain sections of it, and there is a marking down towards the base of it, a marking that you saw in your dream last night, your vision, a marking that you've seen again, a marking of the obsidian. As you look down upon the astrolabe and you remember these things, please make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy. Okay. That's a 3.
And as you look upon the gem, you hear the others talking, and it sounds full volume, and then it gets quieter, and they just fade out. All that there is you and this gem, you and this astrolabe. You look upon it, and something within you can see looks back. There is something that slithers across your head. It would be cold to everyone else, but to you, one who masters the art of the cold, uses it as part of yourself. Your soul is bonded to the ice and the snow and the cold of this land. It's heat that you feel, that waves across you, something that invades your mind for a moment. You hear a voice in the ancient Willoy tongue. You think that you can dare stand against me? You are foolish. Long ago, I learned what was necessary. You will learn it too. Come, allow me to show you, child of the old world. All of you feel the night around you begins to change. No longer are you in this cold, icy surrounding of the island of New. No. Instead, there is a warm breeze that begins to surround you all. As the three of you stand around your companion as she looks upon this astrolabe, you see that the ground around you, a paved cobblestone that has a almost concrete type of appearance, begins to shift and move and turn into sand. Suddenly, the sky around you seems to wink out. The constellations change. You'll notice, Kaywin, as you look around to see what's going on. And in this moment, all four of you feel yourselves ripped away, snatched out of the night of Near, and deposited rather forcefully into the sand around you. You look around and you see from full distance all the way around you on all sides, nothing but an unending desert. A strange new landscape that none of you have seen before. And in the dark, cold night that does not shine, that has a deep obsidian-like appearance, a single meteor streaks through the night, a bright herald of dark tidings to come. Fire that burns through the dark, alighting it with change. And as the meteor streaks through the night, going off into the distant horizon, you come back to yourself, Issa, and look up at it, and you know that you've made a grave mistake. And that is where we will conclude tonight. Our four companions in a strange, new, desolate land. We'll find out what will happen with them in 2 weeks. Because next week, we are going to be going dark. We have some other plans going on. Dark, pun intended. See what I did there? But we will be back in 2 weeks with these same amazing players. They will help me conclude this arc and set the path for the next arcs going forward. So thank you all very much for watching. And let's take a moment to remind everybody who we are and what we're doing when we're not here. I will go last because I have a little quick announcement at the end, but we will do that. Let's go in the same order we started off with. So Bleak, playing our good friend Kaywin. Thank you so much for being back in tonight. Love your stuff you did tonight. Amazing.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me. I am the Bleak Season. I have Monday night on my channel, twitch.tv/The Bleak Season. I'm doing the second part of a 2-part Mouse Guard game that I've been running with some absolutely awesome players. So that's coming up on Monday. That second part of that. And then at that point, I will announce what the next big game will be, which will be interesting to talk about at that point. And then I'll be again next Tuesday on Guild Superior doing some Greyhawk with Uncle Dave's Heroes of Greyhawk. And Thursday next week, the third and final part of my Shadowrun campaign on Guild Superior also. And that's where you can find me and, of course, all the socials, The Bleak Season. That's where I hang out. Thanks so much for having me. It was a great, good fun. And we talked our way into it. So,
that was amazing. You guys took that in a whole different direction. I even had a clue all set up that you guys kind of pseudo figured out, that you guys went a whole nother path. And this is why we love it, because they say that no plan survives contact with your party. And this was such a pleasant surprise how that all went. I loved it. I loved everything about it. But yes, those of you who do not know, Bleak is an amazing GM. I've played under him before, so please go check out his channel. He does some awesome stuff. You can see me and some friends playing Blade Runner. So cool. And some other great stuff. He's got lots of cool content on Guild Superior as well. That's how we met, was playing stuff together. So yeah, go check him out. So thanks Bleak. Appreciate you. Let's move on over to Bleak's better TTRPG half. Hi, Darling Creep Show. They're very good friends. I'm not being weird, I promise.
At least the cuter one.
Oh, of course, right.
We're talking about Creep's my dad.
Oh, okay. That one got weird.
I got a lot of sons, all right, out here in the Twitchverse. Hey everybody, Darling Creep Show. You can find me as Darling Creep Show all across the interwebs. And this Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, is going to be the fucking finale of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. I have been playing this campaign since I started streaming, which is crazy. It's been years. Vermhilda Thundercake. It's the end of an era. Vermhilda, I know, right? I'm really sad. But come hang out Sunday night for the finale of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you, Creep. Appreciate you being here. Like I said, this has been a blast. So thank you.
It was a lot of fun tonight.
Awesome. Yeah, I had a blast. So perfect. Thank you. Going down below, Tim, How you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for playing Pem again. I love what he brings. Really love the use of your new subclass feature of the treasure hound that we did, where you got to use the make an undead to be your servant. Very fun stuff. So yeah, tell us who you are, what you're all about.
Yeah, I'm Tim, been playing Pem. That particular skill of raising an undead is kind of fun because they can't fight for you or really do anything, just like simple tasks. So they're just kind of dumb servants, but they're dead people. So I don't know. It's kind of fun.
We'll get into more of that in 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, BlackmoreFlan. You can find me Thursday night with Bleak trying to kill me in Shadowrun. I survived his trap last week, so you can go see that. He thought he was special, but I had a shaman with me who disintegrated somebody, so it wasn't nothing. So that's our finale, and then in 2 weeks I'll be back here. And I think that's all that's going on right now. Just fun stuff all the way around.
Absolutely, yes. Well, Tim, like I said, thank you so very much. This has been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure playing with you, so this was great. Thank you. Looking forward to 2 weeks from now. And finally, Kay, where can they find you out there? I mean, Kay, you do a lot too, so what's going on? What do you do?
I'm doing a lot this weekend. So I'm Kay, or Caden Cosmos. I do art stuff, from like theater and improv to like graphic design. It is my passion. I love that frog meme. But yeah, this like weekend is big for me. So I've been doing La Notte Eterna. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so at noon, I'm going to be playing in the Alien Xenomorph game on Guild Superior.
Nice.
On Monday, I'm going to be in the Mouse Guard game with Bleak Season. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to be in a Barbie themed game, I think on Wanderer's Haven.
Yes.
Nice.
So I have a lot coming up.
Yes, Kay and I will be playing together. Our characters are BFFs. Yes. It's going to be so much fun. You guys just got to see it. I cannot even begin to tell you how funny it's going to be. But Kay, yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait to share the table with you in that capacity on Tuesday. Our friend Beth over on Wanderer's Haven is running that. And yeah, we are going to be doing, it's going to be wild. It's going to be the craziest game we've ever played in. I can't wait. But yes, I am Kevin. I have been your humble game master. I am the U.S. ambassador for La Notte Eterna and the main dungeon master here on the channel. This has been an absolute blast sharing it with these folks again and sharing it with all of you. That's why we do it. So if you'd like to get more information, we have a Discord you can join. We also have a Patreon that just launched that you can find as well. You can also go to the website and download the quick start of La Notte Eterna, which has just been re-updated. It is chef's kiss. You could play cool stuff like the Willoy, like the Karevi, like the Iraqians, and do really cool stuff too. And there's an adventure inside that actually ties into the very story we're playing, so you can become part of that world too. That's right on the website. That's in the link tree below me. But anyway, yes, I will be in that Barbie game as well. Tomorrow I am playing Star Trek Adventures over on Wanderer's Haven, a recurring game that we do there. We're doing a one-shot based on the Lower Decks book that's coming out. I'll be playing a Vulcan janitor who is not part of Starfleet and has no time for any of this. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I'm all over the place too. This was an absolute blast. I want to thank, of course, Ali Rebelli for publishing the game, Jason Forbes for creating it, and Tabletop Audio for the awesome music we've been having all night. Our producer Miko, who made the cool custom art flying below me, and the overlay that you see here, he is the true master of the trade. But yes, this was great. We are going to raid our good friends Fuzka, who do awesome, cool role-playing too. They're pumping away over there, so stay around, check them out. We'll see you guys all next time, and until then, may the moon smile upon you. Good night, everybody. Thank you.